everyone. Hey. Welcome back to our show. Thank you all for continuing to watch. Some of you are new from watching some of our clips that have been kind of, can we say going viral? What's the threshold of going viral?
Well, I mean, you need like 10 million views.
Okay, so we're not viral.
It's not viral.
But we're more than we were before.
And we got some people.
And
maybe one of those people is you.
So thank you so much for watching and joining us today. We have a very special show today. This is kind of different from what we've normally been doing. But
normally we watch all of the news every Thursday and go from 5 o'clock all the way to 11 p.m. and then the late night comedy shows as well. But this week we're doing a special election.
So we're going to be watching certain campaign videos, and then we're going to be watching two debates. The first...
Two full debates.
Two full debates. The first is Ron DeSantis and Charlie Crist down in Florida, and then the other one is... It's hard to say their names, so I passed it off.
You don't know the names.
No, I can't.
I thought you were passing it to me to be politically incorrect here.
No.
In responding, but it's John Fetterman.
Stop it. That is
and
not appropriate.
Dr. Oz.
Wow. Okay. I just, I don't know how to say it. Is it Mehmet Oz or how do you say his name?
No, it's fucking Dr. Oz.
Okay, whatever. All right. Anyway, so we're watching those debates live, so it's brand new. But first, wait, we need to do an intro?
That was the intro.
That was the intro. Great.
Ah, what?
All right, and we're back. So first off, we have a very special clip to show you. So, Envy Pictures, we have been working on a Halloween feature starring our egos, sketch comedy.
Halloween comedy feature film, sketch comedy.
Yes, it's called Zombies in the Antique Shop. It is a collection, it's a horror comedy horror anthology of 16 different stories.
So y'all know how Shane Gillis did that special that was an hour long, but only 20 minutes of it were sketches.
Ooh,
and
he's gonna burn Shane Gillis now.
Of it were actual professional sketches, but this is an hour and a half of professional sketches.
Yeah, and we have a special.
And this is a clip of the one that Kim wrote that's all about politics. That's gonna lead us into our political episode, where we break down all the politics before the election.
Yeah,
so
it's called
check
polling.
out Kim's awesome sketch right now.
My issue would be crime and safety. Sure. Female. 45 to 60 age range. My ethnicity? Hispanic Latino. Sure, you're very welcome.
Did you just tell him you're Latino?
Yes.
You are not Latino.
I'm just having a little bit of fun. That is the 6th poll that's called me this week. I think they should know by now Latinos are going to vote Republican.
But you're not Latino.
Don't be such a stickler. Hello?
Hello, Sandy.
Oh, excuse me, who is this?
We see you've been having some fun with the polls.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you want to play games, Sandy?
No, I do not want to play a game. Bye.
Don't hang up.
Oh yeah? And what if I do?
We have your husband.
Jim? He's right here. Jim? What? Where did he go?
Like I said, Sandy, we have your husband. Unless you answer these questions correctly, we will slit his throat.
Oh my God, no, please don't.
Then, will you play this little game?
Sure, all right, I'll do anything. Just don't hurt him.
Very good. Question number 1. What is your major issue for voting this year?
What? That's your question?
Is it crime and safety, the economy, or the threat to American democracy?
Do you want me to answer honestly
What is the correct answer, Sandy? Think very carefully.
But I don't know what side you're on.
What side will be calling and threatening you right now?
The threat to American democracy?
That is correct, Sandy. Your husband still lives. Next question. Is your life better or worse than it was 4 years ago?
It's better. Way, way better. Inflation is a necessary price to pay for a better world.
That is correct, Sandy. Very, very good.
Thank you.
Final question. And if you don't get this right, we will not only slash your husband, but stab you right in the heart.
Jesus. Okay.
Who do you think is the worst threat to American democracy? Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis?
Can it be both?
That is correct. Thank you, Sandy. Your husband is being released, and you are now both safe.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now remember, Sandy. Remember to cast your vote for Charlie Crist this November.
What was that all about?
Oh my God. Thank God you're safe.
Yeah.
Did you get a good look at them?
At who?
Your kidnappers.
What are you talking about? I was just taking a crap in the bathroom.
Did you enjoy that? I enjoyed that.
I hope you did. Well, if you did, there is much more coming. We're dropping the full feature on Halloween, Monday, October 31st on Envy. So feel free to continue to follow us. We'll be sharing a lot more details about that.
Envy Pictures, envypictures.com, Envy Pictures the app, MV the app, Envy TV and independent movies. Hopefully the app will be live at some point.
Yeah, we're getting really, really close, and we mean that.
I'm being very impatient.
Alex is so
me down.
impatient, but it will soon be available on Apple. There's just a lot of there's a lot of emails that are happening. A lot of emails.
But it'll happen soon.
But it's gonna happen soon.
And
on that note,
we're here. Woo! We're ready for our election coverage episode.
Oh, yeah.
First, we're gonna go through the 13 most influential or closest races according to 538. Is that what it is? Basically, the people that were completely wrong about the Hillary Clinton campaign and that everybody was like, the polls suck now and everything. Well, we're still listening to them, I guess, because they're the only source that we have. And so these are the 13 closest Senate campaigns.
13, like
13.
Very superstitious.
And then after that, we're going to go, again, like we said, right into the governor's debate.
Yeah.
And then into the most prominent Senate debate.
Yeah.
So first up, though, we got Nevada is the closest Senate race. And we have Adam Paul Laxalt?
Maybe I should read the names, Alex.
Okay, Adam Paul Laxalt?
Yeah, the Republican, and he's currently at 53%, and Catherine Cortez Masto is a Democrat at 47%. But, I mean, I guess it's close.
And Catherine Cortez Masto is the sitting senator right now.
Oh, that's why she's got an asterisk on these notes that Alex made.
And Adam Paul is the Attorney General of Nevada running against her.
All right, here we
So
go.
every time that we see these ads, we will first see the ad for the person that is leading, and then we'll see the person that is trailing behind.
Ooh.
So here are the ads for Nevada's Senate race.
Biden, Pelosi. How do liberal career politicians become millionaires? By putting their own financial interests over yours. They don't care about causing devastating inflation. They can afford it, but we can't. Catherine Cortez Masto doubled her own net worth, becoming a multi-millionaire while in office.
I'm Adam Laxalt, and as Attorney General, I refuse gifts of any kind. I'll do the same in the Senate. I approve this message because your senator should help you instead of helping herself.
Ooh, that was some...
This is Edward Cortez.
What?
Born in Chihuahua, Mexico. He immigrated to the U.S. and was
birth
proud to serve
certificate
our
from a
country in World War
Democrat?
II. He settled in Nevada, became a baker, and raised a family.
She's just bragging about how her
His
dad
story
is
isn't
Mexican.
unique. America has
Literally
always
in
been
her
a place where
campaign.
through hard work and perseverance,
My
generations
dad's
have made
Mexican.
a better life for themselves and their families. It's what America should still be today. I'm Catherine Cortez Masto. This is my grandfather, and I'm proud to approve this message.
Okay, pause that. Okay, so she's like, my grandfather emigrated here, so vote for me. A lot of people's like grandfathers emigrated here, so should we just?
Exactly. Whenever I do that, just ignore it because we're still chatting here. It's just that I gotta match up for the next one sometimes. So Kim's hearing something in her ear and she doesn't know
I was just messing with me, yeah.
professionally how to ignore the technical
So basically,
gaps.
she's like, I know that I make millions of dollars, but here's a boring ass kitchen that I supposedly live in that is like really cheap and normal.
And my grandfather was from Mexico.
And my grandfather was in Mexico. Don't pay attention to the fact that I'm really rich. And then there's Alex, what was his, Adam Paul?
Adam
is like,
Paul.
I'm making like a car commercial or like an insurance commercial.
No,
or
he was
something.
like, he insulted
Everyone's making money.
everyone first.
Yeah, so he's like, I'm doing an attack ad, and she's like, look
I
at
don't
this
need to
birth
attack. Look at my birth
certificate.
certificate. I don't know.
My dad's birth certificate in Mexico.
If you're voting in Nevada,
Okay.
well, who you vote for?
I'm so confused though. Is that the birth certificate? Then why is there a man's face as opposed to a baby's face?
That
Whose
is
face is on that birth certificate?
True. I don't really understand that part. Anyway, again, off those 30-second ads, you live in Nevada, you're voting on Tuesday. Who are you voting for?
I'm voting for the first guy because she's just showing a birth certificate.
She's
She's like, birth certificate!
Facts.
Facts.
All right. And now for our second race, our second closest race. And our second closest race is Georgia, where we have Raphael Warnock, the sitting senator who just got in on
Democrat.
the 50-50 split vote.
Yeah, and he's at 54%. And then we have Herschel Walker, Republican, at 46%. So right now it is leaning toward Warnock, and I'm making the call. I think Warnock's going to win.
Okay, well, we got to watch the ads before you jump to conclusions, all right, MSNBC?
I'm just saying.
You're just deciding this abortion thing's going to put him down. Maybe his ad is out here and it's going to do something different.
Maybe it's a really maybe it's actually like
Yeah.
like a Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like he goes
like-
with his
like
family and
ad.
all of his mothers and all of his children to Disney to the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Maybe
Yeah,
he does that in the
with his
commercial.
birth certificate.
As a Republican.
Yeah.
It's just like whenever you're getting attacked, you just show your grandfather's birth certificate. Where is Grandpa's birth certificate? I'm being attacked. Where is his birth certificate?
All right, let's go.
All right, here we go. So Raphael
Boom.
first, followed by
Georgia.
Herschel. Georgia.
I'm Raphael Warnock. I'm a dad, a senator, a pastor. But a magician? I'm not. So in just a year in the Senate, did I think I could fix Washington? Of course not.
He just ran on
what I
saying.
could do for our state. Creating jobs, fixing infrastructure, expanding healthcare. I approve this message because that's not magic, that's doing the job for Georgia.
I mean, that is a good.
I do absolutely agree that it's racist. It is a redux of Jim Crow in a suit and tie.
America has a long history of systemic racism.
You ain't black.
America has a condition is called racism.
Senator Warnock believes America is a bad country full of racist people. I believe
Well, that was a weird
country
zoom.
full of generous people.
Yeah,
Warnock
like
Generous
I give hundreds of
wanna
dollars
bring us
to
together.
the women.
Oh,
who-
bring us together.
I approve this message.
Okay, pause
Wow.
this. Why are they both in living rooms? Like, what is this thing? Like,
With
why
the
are they all
living
being like,
rooms?
I'm coming for my. Like, you have like the first dude, Warnock, he's like, I'm sitting on my couch. I'm just a normal guy like you. And then you Herschel Walker, like, I'm in my study or whatever it is, because it looked like somewhere. But they're all, and what's her face doing that too? The only guy that didn't do it was like the first guy, what's his name? Adam Paul, who's
Yeah,
like
'cause
doing like
he's-
an actual ad.
He's literally the Attorney General of Nevada. I don't know how that's the closest race. I feel like he's definitely gonna win. Maybe it's just that Nevada's super blue or something. But he's the Attorney General.
They are because of Las
He's
Vegas.
the Attorney General. She's the senator. She refused to debate him. She's the only person out of all the Senate races that refused to debate. Won't answer questions as to why she won't debate.
Yeah.
He comes out. He's a literal lawyer for the state. And he's like, look, she's stealing all the money. Vote for me so that this criminal stops stealing money.
Yeah.
And then the criminal was like, burst, okay.
Yeah. Wait, but meanwhile, so for Georgia Warnock's like, okay, dude, I know you elected me a year ago, and I said I would do a lot of shit. I didn't do a lot of shit because, like, I'm not, like, I couldn't do, like, everything because it's, like, really hard to do, like, everything. Mm-hmm. So I'm just doing what I can. And then Herschel Walker's like, I believe that we're not racist and
he
and
believes
we are
we're
generous
racist.
People. So he believes we're racist.
So again,
basically,
we gotta go.
like, we've got this weird attack ad going.
So if you were living in Georgia, voting on Tuesday, who you voting for?
I don't know. Actually, I think I might vote for Warnock because, like, his ad is it's like basic common sense, like being like, I know I didn't do everything that I said I was gonna do, but I'm doing stuff.
I like the approach. It's just that we both laughed when we heard it, so it isn't necessarily working. And I think that it's because that person was publicly in the national eye, like, basically a year ago.
Yeah.
Saying that if we voted for him, all of the world's problems would be solved because then the Democrats would be in. And it's like we so easily forget that person's campaign was nationally about that.
Yeah.
And now he's sitting here and he's going, well, I didn't say I could fix anything.
Yeah, I know.
And it's like, you just told us you could fix everything if we just voted you in, because then Kamala Harris would have the vote and we would change all of America.
Elaine's clearly
didn't
bored.
get changed.
She's
so,
like, she just yawned. She straight up yawned.
I'm gonna go with Herschel because I do believe there's too much racism going on there, and there's too much shady stuff going on with the guy. Okay. Fuck, and then we lost it. Okay, so now we're back.
We had a little bit of technical difficulties.
Yeah, we did. We had some technical difficulties. Kim took her socks off.
I took my socks
off. I'm recanting that. I'm not going to vote for Herschel Walker. I forgot that he was mentally ill and all of that thing. So,
Alex just realized that Herschel Walker's not going to win, and he just wants to be on the winning team.
Oh, okay, all right. Wait, I mean, true.
That's
true.
true.
That's true. Well, with both of those though, are we being honest? I think I would rather have Raphael, and I would rather have Adam, for those first two.
Yeah.
I really would.
See, which makes us true independents.
It's right from the start. The two toughest contests simplified and on opposing sides.
And if you're watching this and you thought we were swinging one way or the other, you're probably really confused. But yeah, we are true independents. Like, we can lean certain ways in different ways, but honestly, like, we think independently.
Yeah, we think independently. We think you should too.
Yeah.
That's why you should watch this. And if you have somebody that's crazy in your family that's either only watching Fox News or only watching MSNBC, you know, kind of like our viral clips that are talking about the Rolling Stone guy going crazy on fact checks and not listening to Fox News or whatever.
Yep, Alex.
If you got somebody like that in your family,
Alex,
make them watch this episode so that they can see everything that's going on this election cycle and they can vote for themselves.
I'm hitting play.
Yeah. So the next one we got here is, oh wait, oops, I muted it. Oops, instead of pausing it.
All right.
Hold on.
Is Pennsylvania the one that everyone's talking about?
And then you did this to me and now it froze. Oh, there it goes. Oh. I don't bring us to get it. And I'm Herschel Walker.
Okay, pause it.
Okay, Pennsylvania.
So we got John Fetterman, the Democrat,
Fetterman,
who is currently at 60%, and Mehmet Oz, the Republican, at 40%. So I don't understand how that's close at all. There's a 20% difference.
Well, apparently. This is according to, you know, a crazy lunatic Democrat.
I don't know. I mean, it feels like the Republicans are just being like, we're close.
I mean, maybe they're not close at all.
All right, let's watch this ad.
But again, and I'm not trying to make fun of him being mentally ill. I'm trying to make fun of him releasing a bunch of murderers.
Okay.
John Fetterman ad.
Washington, D.C. attacked towns like this for years. They wrote bad deals that sent away our jobs, approved the drugs that kill our kids. We need help. They just talk. Not John Fetterman.
He's the voice of John Fetterman? It's John Fetterman.
He's running for Senate to do the same thing there. Good American jobs, higher wages for us. That's John.
Who is the guy?
It's just a guy that talks for John.
Okay.
Why is radical John Fetterman dodging debates? Because he can't defend freeing convicted murderers even over other Democrats' objections. And phony Federman backed massive middle-class tax hikes, but didn't pay his own taxes 67 times.
Why were the taxes not paid when they should have been paid?
It just fell through the cracks.
Fetterman dodges debates and taxes, but demands that you pay more. I'll cut your taxes, and I won't take a penny of them either. I'm Dr. Oz.
I believe him, and I'm in. I'm Dr. Oz. I'm Dr. Oz. Are you Dr. Oz?
Dr. Oz is he knows how to talk to cameras and he knows to sell himself because he's been doing it for years.
Are you in, though, Kim? I'm on planet Dr. Oz.
I kind of really want Dr. Oz to be in the Senate just because I feel like it'll make things interesting. Like, if Fetterman's in and he's just going to do what everyone else is doing, Dr. Oz is going to be all that.
And I feel like when he says he will cut your taxes and you won't take a penny, you've already seen what happened with Trump with reality stars. These people really will. They'll come in and they'll screw over every corporation under the sun, destroy the entire planet to make sure that you don't pay taxes. And you know what? Let's go for it. I'm good. Let's go. Better than 87,000 IRS agents in the first year of his presidency.
Also, I think it's very troubling that
87,000 IRS agents versus a $1,600 tax break. That's the first year of Trump versus Biden.
All right, let's move on.
Arizona now. Wait, who are you on though? You Oz? You're Oz?
Yeah, I'm Oz.
Okay. Arizona, we got Mark Kelly, Democrat. He is the sitting senator, and he's sitting high and pretty at 74%.
These are not close races.
Going against Blake Masters, Republican, at 26%.
Okay.
Compared to Congress, the way NASA operates might seem kind of upside down. Putting the mission first, working as a team, and getting the job done no matter what. But really, isn't it Washington that has things upside down? I'm doing things differently. I don't take a dime of corporate PAC money. I publish my schedule online so you know exactly what I'm working on. And I put aside the party politics so we can accomplish results together.
All right.
I'm Mark Kelly, and I'm as a crazy Democrat, so I kind of like him.
Rising prices mean that we all have to take a second look at our shopping lists.
TikTok?
Set priorities. So let's look at Mark Kelly's. How about hiring 18,000 new Border Patrol agents? Does that sound good? Well, Mark Kelly voted no.
Doesn't sound good.
What did he do instead? He voted for 87,000 new IRS agents. Mark Kelly kept our border wide open, but he's sending tax collectors coming after you. I'm Blake Masters, and I approve this message.
Wait, why was there a child running in the background? That was a weird ad. I'm sorry. I go for the first guy.
I'm going for the first guy because even if he is a corrupt politician, he is already campaigning on the fact that he doesn't want to really be a Democrat anymore. He's like, I'm working in the middle. Please just vote for me. And if you're willing to say that, then you're willing to be independent. You're willing to have an independent mind in this crazy polarized thing.
Yeah.
And I think that that's better if we have somebody there that's already been doing the job, that's saying, I can think independently, than someone new, regardless.
Yeah.
And the someone new is doing a lot of TikTok stuff with the
and adding children into things and being like,
and the LaCroix, the LaCroix, he just pulls up with the LaCroix.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's a little too much for me.
Guess what this motherfucker did? He 87,000 IRS agents.
Drinking my LaCroix. I'm sorry.
My LaCroix. I am pissed off. This LaCroix costs 80 cents more because of this motherfucker.
Anyway,
it was a little bit much.
A little too much. All right, moving on. We got Wisconsin. We got Ron Johnson, a Republican, at 76%.
He is a sitting senator.
Sitting senator.
He is also an insurrectionist. He is a true, verified one of like the top 5 insurrectionist senators.
Okay. And his name also rhymes. Ron Johnson. Anyway, Mandela Barnes is running against him. She's Democrat at 20%.
Guy. Black guy.
Sorry.
Black guy, you're racist.
I'm sorry. Mandela sounds like a female name, okay?
Nelson Mandela?
That was his last name?
Oh, so if it's the last name, it's okay for a man, but not if it's first name?
Mandela, A.
Black
Look,
man.
I'm going along with the feminine A after, in
24%. Black man. Ron Johnson first.
These ballots heading to China, those Mexico. Some companies export jobs. We export our products. Been doing it for decades, helping to create more Wisconsin jobs. And I've stayed put, right here in Oshkosh, for 37 years. Career politicians manufacture hogwash. I manufacture plastic. And I respect you enough to tell you the truth. If you think it's time for Washington to start facing reality, I sure could use your support. I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
The guitar. Also, why is his mouth a little? His mouth is a little orange and weird.
Oh, what's going on with his mouth? His mouth is a little strange.
He's old. Let him be. Old people have like weird mouths.
He's got like a weird like leukemia.
If you stare at someone's mouth, it's weird.
I'm Mandela Barnes,
nice.
and I approve this message.
Okay, it is a guy. Ooh, graphic content.
A new revelation about the Capitol insurrection has critics calling on a Wisconsin senator to resign.
Shocking evidence that implicated Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin in Donald Trump's coup plot.
Johnson wanted to hand-deliver a fake slate of electors for Wisconsin.
My involvement lasted seconds.
So that they don't get hit up by, like, when they're stealing stuff, they don't get content matching.
They don't get the content ID?
Like we do.
That's why they're doing that?
They're like, we'll just put some stripes in
For
so that
content ID matching?
Okay.
Damn, we need to start doing that, right?
Yeah.
Jeez,
no,
man.
that's not as good. That looks bad. It looks like it's
crap.
being filmed through like a TV. Okay, so I go with the first guy because number one, his like ad was great because I really like the music, and he said Oshkosh and made me think of Oshkosh gosh, and I just felt really I just felt great. And he was talking about how he's like a manufacturer, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then the other one is just like, here's some fake news. Like, I mean, seriously.
Yeah, here's some fake news.
If you believe in the, like, it's only getting the Democratic side of being like, see guys, MSNBC says he's bad, you know? So it's like, who are you getting? You're getting a very small percentage of people that actually.
Well, no, CNN's on our side too, so we're getting a double fraction. No, you're not. No, you're not. There's more people watching Fox.
They had the Fox local affiliate. They didn't have like it was like Fox 23 or something. But yeah, I'm going for Ron Johnson because his ad was really fun, and I like the music, and I don't know, I thought it was good. So if that makes me an insurrectionist, then I guess I am.
Yeah, I'm gonna declare my insurrectionist behavior as well, and we'll take a little pause, and then we're gonna go into hyper mode.
We're gonna
go thorough now. So now we're at North Carolina. We got Ted Budd, who is a senator, I guess, and he is at 77%. He's a Republican. He is sitting senator up against Cherry Beasley, a Democrat, at 23%.
Yeah.
Joe Biden spent recklessly. Now he wants 87,000 more IRS agents to cover his tab. Cherry Beasley supports both ideas. 87,000 to harass small businesses and working people like her and them, no matter the pain it causes. I'm Ted Budd, and I'm running for Senate because Joe Biden and Cherry Beasley want more from you, but I want more for you. And that's the difference. I'm Ted Budd, and I approve this message.
We all know Washington doesn't make a lot of sense. So why send the same politicians and expect it to change? I'm Cherry Beasley, and it's time for something different, for someone who calls it like they see it. That's what I did as a judge when I held dangerous offenders accountable. And in the Senate, I'll hold Washington accountable too, because the special interests have too much power, and neither political party is getting it right. Our next senator should be focused on North Carolina. That's why I approve this message.
Oh, okay. She does not have a lot of money behind her because that was a really cheap ad.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first dude's gonna win.
Well, going to win, or who do you vote for?
I guess I'll vote for him.
I'm still gonna vote for him because I think that at the end of the day I don't know enough about her, and I think that she's just not.
She just kind of seems just like
mediocre.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't trust Democrats to not be part of the machine if they're being mediocre. If you're being mediocre, I'm thinking you're voting for Joe Biden. You know what I mean? You're just you're in the line.
But I do want to know if what's his face, the dud guy, if he paid for people that eat food in there, or if like he just like walked in a place and was like, I'm just gonna film here. Were they getting like a free meal? All right, anyway. All right, moving on.
He owns that place probably? Something like that?
I don't know.
I mean, we're moving on, but now we're slowing up again. I mean, this is brutal because it's like Apple TV and we're trying to AirPlay it, and it's like 5 feet away and it cannot handle playing things that are 5 feet away.
You're gonna have to cut a lot of
All right, Ohio. We have J.D. Vance, Republican. He's at 76%. He's also the author of Hillbilly Elegy. And he is looking to beat sitting Senator Tim Ryan, a Democrat.
Who's at 24. So right now it's looking like he will. And he's been like, I mean, he's a name. Like you hear J.D. Vance, you're like, hear his name. You like know who this dude is.
Yeah, but also if you do 2 initials and then your last name, you sound a lot more like, J.D. Salinger. I'm JD Vance.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
his name's probably like Jim Dick Vance. And it's like, well,
Jim Dilla Vance.
And if you're like Jim Vance, that's not a good name. But JD Vance, all of a sudden you sound like a fucking profesh.
He came from Hillbilly Elegy, so he had some hick name, and then he's like, I'm just gonna change it.
A tale of two Tims. TV Tim Ryan pretends he's with you.
I don't answer to any political party.
But DC Tim Ryan votes with Biden Pelosi 100%.
You've said that you don't like Nancy Pelosi, you love Nancy Pelosi.
I do love her.
DC Tim's been in Washington 20 years, supporting amnesty and opposing the border wall that would slow down illegals and drugs flooding Ohio. I'm JD Vance, and I approve this message because TV Tim is fake, but DC Tim is bad for Ohio.
Which JD Vance will show up today? Silicon Valley JD or politician JD? Let's check the stats.
Silicon Valley JD is very comfortable in the West Coast offense and told reporters he feels out of place in Ohio.
Drafted out of Yale Law School, says he loves those day trips to wine country.
And called Trump Hitler.
Sounds pretty West Coast to me, Steve.
Let's check the stats on politician JD.
Now he suddenly loves Trump.
It's so much cheaper.
Grow beard.
That's not cool in this crowd.
They're really trying to get to the football crowd.
Yeah. It's like they're saying this.
Hold on.
Right. Yeah. They're trying to say that he's pandering, but then what are you doing by making it a football thing?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing by making it a football thing and making it this cheap football knockoff?
See, that's the thing. I think we're losing it when we're rewinding it.
Okay. But I have to pause it on the next one so I can see the lineup.
They're both saying that each is two-sided. So basically you're like dealing with like two different sides. So
yeah.
I guess just like pick whoever you
pick the better ad, and the better ad is definitely the first guy, because the second one is like this cheap ass knockoff saying that JD Vance is selling out and that he's not a real Republican is their whole sellout. JD Vance's sellout of Tim Ryan is he's saying he doesn't vote for these things, but he really does, and he's fucking you over. Okay, well, one is saying a person is fucking person over. Another is saying he doesn't really like Trump. He's just lying. What does that matter?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I would vote for JD Vance.
Yeah. Me too. All right. New Hampshire. We got Maggie Hassan, Democrat, at 82%. These are not close races.
She's sitting. She's sitting.
Versus Donald C. Bolduc, Republican, 24%.
Looking out for your money and demanding fiscal responsibility. Maggie Hassan has just been named a fiscal hero in the U.S. Senate. No wonder Hassan is known for tight budgets and accountability. As governor, Hassan balanced state budgets while cutting taxes to create new jobs. Now ranked the most bipartisan senator, Hassan works with Republicans to cut wasteful spending and was one of only 2 Democrats who refused to propose earmarks.
I'm Maggie Hassan, and I approve this message because fiscal responsibility is the New Hampshire way.
Oh.
General Don Bolduc.
I didn't spend my life defending this country to let a bunch of liberal socialist pansies squander it away. I'm Don Bolduc. I approve this message, and I'm asking for your vote.
Badass American patriot hero.
Okay, all right. I'll vote for the lady.
Maggie. Look, she legit looks like a senator. Like she looks like she does her job.
She's
she
doing
looks
her
like
job.
she is there to work
trying,
and do her
and
job
everybody
and
else
be
is like
bipartisan.
fucking not fucking around.
I'm down for her.
Right.
She looked great. She's like I also think I'd like her as a person. She just seems like some old lady that I'd be like, all right, you know your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
New Hampshire. It's like the not insane version of Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
And we got Colorado. We got Michael Bennet,
the sitting senator, Democrat.
At 88%, and then Joe O'Dea, Republican, at 12%. Again, these are not close races, Alex.
According to them.
We've faced so many tough questions that we've stopped asking hopeful ones, like what our country would look like if every family could make ends meet. But Michael Bennet never stopped asking those questions, and now he's getting answers. Putting $3,000 in the pockets of Colorado families, cutting child
He's
poverty
paying you guys. Vote for him.
Making sure our economy works for all of us. Imagine what other questions that kind of leadership can answer.
Michael Bennet isn't telling the truth. Ooh. My dad supports same-sex marriage.
Whoa.
He will defend a woman's right to choose.
What?
He will protect access to contraception for all women. Michael Bennett's a sleazy politician who will say anything to keep his job. Google my dad, Joe O'Dea. and find out his positions for yourself.
Ooh. Whoa. Wait a minute. So that's a pro-abortion Republican, and his ad is all about how they're lying that he's against abortion.
Yeah.
He's a pro-abortion Republican. That's a ballsy move to do in Colorado. But I don't think you're going to win because your ad was too cheap, sir.
Yeah, the ad was really
If the ad
cheap.
was just a...
The audio was really bad, too.
If the ad was at the same level as Tim Ryan's football thing, I think I would have voted for the Republican in that one. Because Michael Bennet wasn't really saying much. He was being like, I paid you, shut up. And you're like, whoa, okay, bro.
I guess so.
But then the other guy's like, he's lying about me. I'm not against abortion. There's nothing wrong with me. And that would have been cool if it was just like created okay.
I think I will vote for neither. I would vote for neither.
Neither?
I don't think either. Yeah, I don't think either are really that great. I would try to search.
I would
vote
for Michael Bennet if I had to. If I had to go, I guess right now because the other one made such a cheap ad. Fuck, and we just lost it again.
Just when we were getting to the good one. Okay, here we go. We got Florida. Florida with Marco Rubio, the sitting Republican, at 91%, while Val Demings, Democrat, is at 9%, which is probably only from like Orlando and probably a little bit of.
She was the chief of police of Orlando, so yes, that was true.
Her husband is the Orange County mayor.
And I do not like him. I know I don't like him. We'll see how.
He is apathetic. He does not care about his job. He is just sitting doing. He's not
okay,
great.
play it before I lose it again.
I'm Marco Rubio, and I approved this message.
Val Demings. She'd be Florida's most liberal senator ever. Demings votes with Pelosi 100%. She supports amnesty and gave stimulus checks to illegal immigrants. Supports taxpayer-funded abortion until the moment of birth. Demings even voted to allow transgender youth sports and teach children radical gender identity without parental consent.
She is
Val
insane.
Demings. She's not just liberal. She's dangerously radical.
People ask me, Val, where do you get your tireless faith that things can always get better? I got it here in Jacksonville, Florida. When you grow up in the South, poor, black, and female, you have to have faith in progress and opportunity. My father was a janitor, and my mother was a maid. She said, Val, never grow tired of doing good. Never tired. Work hard, not just for yourself, but for others. So I went to Orlando to serve as a police officer. Met my husband and #1 partner in crime fighting, Sheriff Jerry Demings. I ended up serving 27 years. I just never got tired of it. Eventually, this working mom worked her way up to chief of police.
Orlando's violent crime this year is down.
Murders, robberies, aggravated assaults, total violent crime, all lower than a year ago.
Under her leadership, there has been the most dramatic decrease in violent crime in the city's history.
They said we never lower crime, but I said never tire. And after all that, I still wasn't tired. So I ran for Congress and got back to work.
It's a good campaign, it is. And she's a police officer. If she would have stayed out of the Trump lane, she might have won. If she would have done what some of these other ones are doing in the other states where they stay bipartisan and they say it's about unification, if she would have done that and said, hey, here's my police record, she might have actually won in Florida. But she went against Trump and against the other guy and all that, and then that's the end of it.
I mean, I think she is great for Orlando, and I think she's great for the local community that she's done, but I think representative of actual Florida, which is bigger and more complex and everything. I just think that, yeah, I mean, I think Marco Rubio's gotten in the bag, so I'd still vote for Marco Rubio. You know, the fact that she's just so anti what kind of Florida is about right now.
Right.
So it's like you're not representative of Florida. You're representative of Orlando. And like, you know.
And now here we got
Washington.
Patty Murray, Democrat, 92% shot of winning. She's the sitting senator. She will not debate Tiffany Smiley. But wait a minute, she did. And we have no ads from either one of these guys. We got a 5-minute clip of the entire debate.
Wow.
And this is going to lead us in to our first debate with Ron DeSantis, and then into our debate that happened tonight between John Fetterman because I'm over these Senate races, I'm over this video, and I'm over this fucking Apple TV at this point. Let's move forward.
Yeah,
last
Kristen,
one.
It was a little like a political prize fight here on the campus of Gonzaga University this afternoon, about 5 o'clock.
They did a debate.
You had the challenger, Tiffany Smiley, coming out swinging. And the incumbent, U.S. Senator Patty Murray, she didn't back down. She responded with some political jabs of her own.
We just heard a whole slew of things that I'd love to take time to rebut.
Throughout the hour-long debate, each candidate got in their digs.
I love when they make them sick.
Senator Murray, you're not the mom in tennis shoes anymore. It's been 30 years. You've become a career politician.
I feel like I'm listening to Mitch McConnell on the Senate floor, so let me take a breath.
I took on Washington, D.C., Patty, and I won. You've never taken on Washington, D.C. You are Washington, D.C.
How much can I correct in 30 seconds? So first of all,
the home.
Oh my God, I kind of love this lady.
And a dozen other topics were all covered at the Spokane Showdown, along with issues that could determine the midterms.
She's roasted her the whole
abortion.
time.
Would Tiffany Smiley, a pro-life candidate, vote to ban abortions nationwide?
I've been clear from the very beginning. I oppose a federal abortion ban. That's long before the unprecedented leak from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's decision gave the power to the people, and that's where I believe it belongs. I respect the will of the voters here in Washington State.
I hear my opponent over there saying, I'm 100% pro-life, don't worry. I gotta tell you, I was in the Senate. I saw Supreme Court nominees come in front of us and say to us, I'm pro-life, don't worry, and look what happened.
The January 6th riots came up too. Senator Murray said Smiley's questioning of the 2020 election sows mistrust for our democracy.
My husband lost his eyesight fighting for our country. He's here in this debate listening to us. He lost his eyesight fighting for democracy, and our family lives with that sacrifice every single day. It's certainly why I'm in this fight as well.
Fuck yeah.
And so I want to ask, do you believe that me and my family are a threat to democracy, Senator Murray? Because tell everyone here today.
No one questions her belief in our democracy or her husband's fight for our country, ever.
Yeah, back away.
But do not conflate that with misconstruing about the intent of insurrectionists who were using their brute force to overtake the peaceful transfer of power.
But you still have to be on the side of January 6th.
Rising gas prices and crime, saying it's time for a change. Murray says there's more work to be done.
I feel good. It was an opportunity to share the contrast and the difference between the two candidates. I wish it was before ballots dropped, but I think my plan is clear. I have an agenda for recovery and reform. We need to turn crisis into hope for all of Washington.
We asked Senator Murray to speak with us after the debate as well, but she declined our request. We did get a statement emailed to us from the campaign saying that the senator won the debate and that Senator Murray made it clear to voters that she is the strongest and most effective voice out there.
Okay, so my thought is this, Murray, she was smart because she's polling at 92% versus 8%. So she's got it in the bag. So why would she do a debate? Number one, it shows, hey, I'm a good sportsman. And then you're also going up a really weak candidate. You're Michael Jordan and you're going up against like some high school kid.
But I think they might have lost her some points because that's what I saw. Well, that's what's interesting that you saw it that way because I saw it the opposite. I saw that because she came in with a David versus Goliath mentality.
Yeah.
That she perceived herself the same way kind of Hillary did, where she was so arrogant and self-centered, thinking that everyone was along for the ride with the joke.
Yeah.
When really the joke was on her.
I don't
saying
think
you're the this is my argument. The lady said, you say you're the woman in tennis shoes. You haven't been in tennis shoes in 30 years. You're a career politician. You're what's wrong with Washington. That phrase, okay? Up against, I feel like I'm talking to Mitch McConnell right now. I feel like I'm on the Senate floor. Which one won that conversation? You know what I mean? Which one is confident in what they're saying?
I see Murray as being confident. She was very grounded. She was very level. She Look,
Wow,
you know,
that's so interesting.
She's been in the Senate for a long time.
Maybe.
She's the epitome. If you look up senator in the dictionary, like she comes up. She looks like a senator.
I saw
She
Hillary.
talks like
I
a
saw
senator.
Hillary Clinton. I saw somebody that was worried.
No, the other one is just too green. I forget her name, but like she's just too green.
Definitely agree with that.
She was very
Definitely agree with
green,
that.
and she was very
She
much
didn't know
like
how to make herself.
She's passionate, and I think if she keeps at it, she will have more opportunity. And I think this was great because it pushed her forward, like for other things. But I think she, I think she was a very much weaker candidate versus someone very experienced and very grounded and able to kind of say things, in a way that was with authority and control. And she's not the crazy politician that's making stuff happen. I think she just goes in there and tries to do her job, just like the lady from New Hampshire.
I mean, I don't know. I've just seen Patty Murray twice now. And it's so interesting because you just got to see one of the 2 times of Patty Murray that I saw. And the other time was on Meet the Press when they both were on to do questions.
But I mean, like, alternative isn't that strong.
And I just...
No matter what she is, like,
Oh,
the
you're
other
saying
person,
versus the other. If
versus
we're
the
looking
other
at it as
person.
the vote
Yeah,
again.
because that's what we're supposed to be doing, Alex. Versus the other person.
I'm sorry.
I'm
got a little drunk.
Yeah.
But that's
Alex,
the...
yeah.
But that's the thing.
Alex forgot the whole purpose of why we were
think
doing
if
this.
you're going to break it down at the end of the day, if I'm in the ballot booth, I'm voting for Patty. So I recant my further debate arguments. I think Patty didn't win herself any points in that debate. I would argue
She
that
could
with
have
you.
lost 20 and been fine, though. She's at 92.
and by acting that way, that's how she lost definitely at least 20.
Doesn't matter.
And made it a closer race
Doesn't
than it
matter.
needs to ever be.
All right.
But at the end of the day, a common sense person is going to vote for Patty.
Yeah. All right.
It's
so-
interesting that when I go to YouTube to be able to pull in this Ron DeSantis because our Apple AirPlay isn't working too well, that one of the searches on YouTube that is in our trending nationwide right now is the name John Fetterman.
I mean, I was
and this
looking
is
at
post-debate, so like...
I was looking at the Marvel Studios Ant-Man trailer, which I still have not seen.
I have not seen that either.
Oh,
you
good.
wanna go for that first?
No, we're watching this. It's 11:12
We gotta go
at
for
night.
the Ant-Man trailer first.
We're
Sorry.
filming this super late.
You're right. Ant-Man trailer first.
What is this?
Ant-Man trailer.
I used to ask myself a lot of questions. Scott, you're at ex-con. How are you an Avenger? That doesn't make sense. But everywhere I go, people tell me the same thing.
Thank you. People still need help, Dad. That's why we made this. It's like a satellite for deep space, but quanta.
What?
Wait a minute. You're sending a signal down to the quantum realm. Turn it off.
Oh, this that shit that's gonna change Marvel. This shit that's gonna change Marvel! That werewolf thing was dope. Oh, they're gonna bring the whole family in. Oh, I'm fucking in.
Well, they got the
Ant-Man
daughter
is
got old
gonna fucking
enough.
bring... Oh, look at that shot!
Wow.
I fucking love her too. She's great.
Who is that?
I don't know. There's a bunch of those teenage big-eyed actors right now. They're like big-eyed actors. She's got big eyes. She was in that John Cena movie.
What are you so afraid of?
The one about the hooking up when they're in high school.
There's
I'm
something
trying to
I
watch
never
this,
told
dude.
you.
This place. It isn't what you think.
That'd be wearing. Bill Murray. What?
I can get you home. And give you more time. If you help me. So, what's it gonna be? Ant-Man.
What? Is that like the new Wakanda guy or something?
No, there's a dude from Loki.
Oh, this is
The dude that gets murdered at the end of Loki. Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, sorry. I
So
just saw
this is
Black Guy
before
and
that,
decided
so we can
Wakanda.
put that ahead in the quantum universe, or not. I mean, this could be a parallel universe. Like, you know, there's many different things, but
Oh, that's cute. And then that's a really good campaign. And then they released the trailer again on YouTube, ant-sized, where it was
Cool.
like releases a little tiny video.
That's
Anyway,
cute.
we're gonna
That's
move on to
pretty
Ron
cute.
DeSantis now.
Thank you.
Ron DeSantis.
all right. It said national desk. You put
Yeah, I know.
news desk. And,
I know,
and
news
national.
desk is the actual
I still got to
name.
that. Okay, guys, so we are going to watch the debate between Ron DeSantis and Charlie Crist in Florida.
What?
Yeah.
What?
What?
Are you ready?
What?
Are you ready, Kim?
I'm so ready.
I don't know if we're gonna get to Federman tonight, but we're gonna at least get through this one. This is gonna be a great one.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this?
I'm so ready.
I need another drink. Oh, anticipation. So, as I was saying, I
Wait.
heard that there is an open crowd at this debate.
What?
And that there was some rowdy DeSantis fans.
Ooh.
So we shall
Cool.
see. Here we go.
All right, guys. So
Your
this is
local
just a-
Orlando voters,
Wait,
this is
wait,
the actual
hold on,
contest we
hold
can
on,
vote for.
Hold on. We got to tell you, we're not going to do the Fetterman Oz debate.
I thought we were going to do it, but we're going to do it later. We're going to
No.
record it later. We're not
Not.
going to do it at all?
I'm not.
That's not fun. Can we do half and half?
No, we're watching the entire Ron DeSantis debate.
But I want to see that guy is like typing on it. Like, what is it? Like, what if he's like doing some like, what if his name is trending right now on YouTube because he was doing some like Stephen Hawking shit?
Okay, fine. We're going to watch them all. Jeez.
You know it. We'll see. Let's see. Let's just see where we go. Let's see
We're
where
definitely
we
going to cover all Ron DeSantis.
go. All right.
Here we go. Where was this filmed?
This is Sunrise? St. Pierce, Florida.
All right.
2022 gubernatorial debate. Your voice, your future. We've called it that because all the questions I will be asking tonight came from you, Florida
Okay.
voters. Some will be asked
so local.
just as you wrote them. Others have been written to reflect concerns shared by many who
Some
submitted questions.
are as is. Some
and
of y'all
about
can't
issues
spell,
that
so.
matter most to you.
Yeah, we
and your
can't just cover
families.
this one. The other
The
one
economy,
is Andrew Cuomo.
Education,
Or is Chris
immigration,
Cuomo.
public safety and health,
Doing the
and the
debate, too.
environment. Once I have
That wasn't
asked
what I
a
was saying,
question,
Alex.
the candidates will each have
just saying
1
it's like
minute to
local as fuck.
respond and 30 seconds for a rebuttal.
Florida
I will
Debate
alternate who answers the
2022.com.
question first, and at the end of the hour, each candidate will have 60 seconds for a closing statement. You may notice at home and here in the theater a small fan next to one of the podiums. That is there by special request for Congressman
What?
Crist.
Does he
We
fart?
do ask that
And he needs
everyone
some
here
blowing?
Yeah.
in the theater
What is
remain
he-
quiet during the debate.
Why does he have
We
a
will have
fan?
time for
I was so
Wait,
sorry.
he needs a fan by his
And
balls, and then
right
Ron
now,
DeSantis is like,
as
you
we
have to
welcome
expose
our
that.
candidates
Yeah, I'm not going on the
Great
stage
state
unless
of
you
Florida,
tell us
Governor
that there's
Ron
a
DeSantis
fan.
and Congressman
You're
Charlie
telling
All right,
Chris
here we
stage.
go. Here we go.
Because you know that was Ron DeSantis saying that.
I'm
Ron
sorry.
DeSantis was like, you need to tell them there's a fan there. You need to tell them. Look at the fucking, I told you, it's rowdy crowd. Rowdy crowd. It's going to be crazy.
Fart fan.
You won the coin toss, so you will be answering first, please.
There's a coin
It's been
toss?
said
This
that
is so
people
Florida.
vote with their feet, and their feet are bringing people to the Sunshine State by the thousands. That has put unprecedented pressure on housing. It's
yeah.
driving rents through the roof
Oh, yeah.
and forcing individuals
First
and
question.
families out of their homes.
Fucking rent, motherfucker.
New housing takes years to approve and to build, and workforce housing is needed right now. What solutions do you propose as governor to manage future growth and ensure affordable housing is available to everyone? Congressman, you have 1 minute to respond.
Thank you, Liz, and thank you for being here tonight. I want to thank everybody for watching this evening. I wanted to start out by saying that you're going to see a stark contrast in this debate, in this election. It's a stark contrast between somebody who believes in a woman's right to choose. I think that's fundamentally important.
Bro, he's like... He's like, fuck your fucking rent.
You hear that? No, there's some
signed a
rules.
bill that would restrict
Abortion.
that right, even in cases of rape or incest.
Bro,
So get to your
we're
question.
asking about
Housing is
rent.
an incredible issue as well. We have a housing crisis.
They're
in our
laughing at
state.
him.
Okay.
Good luck buying a home. Good luck renting an apartment. And it's because Governor DeSantis has taken his eye off the ball. He's focused on running for president in 2024, and as a result, we have
That's
lost.
right.
Specifically,
I love this fucking debate already. It's
The
wild.
legislature have cut. I would
That's
restore.
right.
I would make sure that we're doing everything we can to be sure that housing is affordable again.
Bro, this
And
guy
along
don't
with
even
that
know
goes
what
so
he's
many
in
other
for
things. The price
tonight.
of gas,
It's gonna be
the price
rape.
of utilities. These things are through the roof. We have inflation in Florida that's unique to any other state. And the problem is our inflation's too high under his
Congressman,
leadership.
that's time. Governor, you have 1 minute.
Thank you.
I just want to
Thanks
remind
everybody for tuning in.
All right, let's see what he says.
You know, Charlie Crist has voted with Joe Biden 100% of the time to give us these inflationary policies
Is that a yay?
and to drive up the cost of everything
for it?
that we're doing. And the fact of the matter is, over the last 2 years, we now have record inflation all across this country at 40-year highs. He supports Biden's energy policies, which have made gas and utilities more expensive. That is wrong. And I would also say this. You mentioned, Liz, that people are flocking to Florida. That would not have happened if Charlie Crist had his way. He wrote me a letter in July of 2020 saying you need to shut down the state of Florida. He said you need to force people to shelter in their own homes. That would have destroyed the state of Florida. That would have caused our tourism
They're like
industry
fucking
to
drunk
go
up
into
in
the
there.
toilet.
They're
It would have
fucking
locked out millions
partying.
of kids from school. I
mean, we wouldn't have
rejected
probably
Charlie
done
Crist's
Florida.
lockdown letter. I kept this.
We wouldn't be here. Yeah, we definitely would not be here.
Whoa.
And we now have the biggest budget surplus in the history of Florida. We have a 2.5% unemployment,
Governor,
second
that's
lowest on
time.
record, and we just did the biggest tax cut in Florida
Thank
history.
you, Governor. That's
Fucking
time.
yeah.
Congressman, you have 30 seconds for rebuttal.
Thank you very much. Well, Ron, that's rich. You're the only governor in the history of Florida that's ever shut down our schools. You're the only governor in the history of Florida that shut down our businesses. I never did that as governor. You're the
because
one
it
who's
wasn't a
shut-
pandemic.
We need to have somebody who is at the helm.
I mean, it's
that
a good
understands
argument.
it's
Keep
important
going.
to
Keep
No,
going.
it's bull.
to do what's right, to utilize common sense. You don't just shut down at the outset, and then when it's politically convenient for you, you want to open back up, restore political points, or you race for president. That's not right. It's not what the people deserve.
They're not even with this
Governor, you have 30
guy.
seconds.
They were fucking with him.
So he opposed having kids in school. His supporters sued me to keep the kids out of school in 2020. And how critical was that decision? We just got the nation's report card, the results from all 50 states. Florida, number 3 in 4th grade reading and number 4 in the country in 4th grade math.
Ooh,
and if you adjust that for demographics, we are number 1 in the country in both. That would not have happened if we
cut all the
let Charlie
minorities?
Crist and his friends lock our kids out of school like they did in California and like they did in New York. We did
Thank
it
you,
right in
Governor.
Florida.
Well,
We're
right.
gonna
Like,
move on
was
now.
it
Our
that
next
way under
question
him? Now,
also
that's
on
the
the
better
economy.
response. It was
As
not that way
governor,
under you.
Both of you called special sessions of the legislature to address Florida's home insurance crisis. Governor DeSantis just announced another will be called by the end of the year.
Oh.
Dave in Ruskin, Florida wants to know, what do you think are the best next steps to address this crisis, which seems to overwhelm every solution we throw at it? Governor, you have a minute.
Well, first, I think we have the worst inflation of 40 years. It's much more expensive to replace a roof today than just 3 years ago, thanks to the Biden-Crist policies. That, unfortunately, is contributing to the increase. We also have we're number one in the nation in litigation with respect to homeowners insurance. We have 8% of the policies, but 78% of the litigation costs.
Whoa.
Some policyholder will get a $20,000 settlement, and the lawyer will get $400,000. So we called the special session.
His name is Dan Newland.
We also created
Dan Newland.
that's serving us well now.
Run the
before
ad.
Ian hit, and we created a program where Floridians can get
We just
grants
ran a Dan
to make
Newland ad.
improvements to their homes
Yeah, we
and then
did.
lower rates. I think what we need to do, we need to build off what we did with the reinsurance because that's a big issue, and we have to address the rising costs of litigation. It's not about lining the pockets of billboard lawyers. It's about
like Dan
having a
Newland.
competitive market
Dan
where people have a
Newland.
shot to make ends meet.
Fucking Dan. He's like, Fuck Dan Newman and his billboards in Orlando. Oh, he's supporting Ukraine and shit.
The most expensive state in the country to live in, more than California, more than New York. And why is that the case?
You know, people laughing.
Because you've taken your eye off the ball, as I said before. Look at utility
There are
rates.
New York and LA people that are in the crowd. That's what's going on.
Utility rate increase has been granted for
I just came here, bitch.
Power, Tico, you name them. They've all gone up and up and up. When I was governor, they went down. Property insurance. Property insurance under you has doubled in the state of Florida. Doubled, Ron. That's not good for the people of the state. And it's been exacerbated by this horrible hurricane we just came through. Gas prices are up as well. Under your lack of leadership, you slipped in something to drop the price of gas, but only in October, right before the run-up to the election. That's so political. It's disgusting. We need to have a governor who will do what's right.
We know this guy's going to lose, so like, give him some points. He's reaching
not just
here.
when it's right before a re-election.
Governor.
This is so
Governor.
Well, why are fuel and natural gas prices up? Because of the Biden-Crist energy policies. They're waging war on American energy. They are not producing what we need to do. They're begging Maduro and OPEC for more oil. That's why your costs are going up there. But Charlie Crist's plan for homeowners insurance is to chase the private insurers out, dump millions of Floridians on Citizens' property. It's undercapitalized. Here's why that matters for you. Citizens has mandatory assessment authority. So there could be a storm that hits Tampa Bay. Maybe you're renting a place in Miami with a car. They can assess your homeowner's insurance, your auto's insurance, and your renter's insurance.
I mean, if that's time, you're not even going to give him
capsizing the state of Florida if we had a real storm.
Congressman, you have 30 seconds.
Thank you, Liz. I appreciate your courtesy. You know, I think it's incredible that we hear this out of Ron DeSantis. He's talking about our economy. He's talking about property insurance. And everybody watching tonight knows that your property insurance is up under him. That's the problem. He could have addressed it in the regular session. He didn't.
Look at his throat go.
In his first special session. He didn't.
He don't like when the crowd goes against him.
I don't think
boy, a little boy gets a little. Ooh, I don't know if he's ready for president.
You deserve a governor who has your back.
Look at that! You see that fucking fear? The second the crowd goes against him.
Let's see.
You gotta fucking turn it around, buddy.
Right now, and ask that our audience please stop. We're not going to get through all the questions, and we have a lot of ground to cover. So please, that needs to be the end of the applause.
Oh, come on! The audience is the best part, man.
Wait, they were unbiased. That was what was interesting. They had changed to Crist.
Story of destruction.
Whoa! Can I pause that? Hold on. I gotta pause that for a second. Wait. So the audience the entire time was like a frat house drunken hype beast for Ron DeSantis. Charlie Crist getting beat down for 8 straight minutes in this thing over this stupid frat crowd, college, whatever. Turns it around and says, whoa, your house is up during his administration. Your rent is up during his
insurance. It's the
insurance. All of that is up during him. Your gas, all of it, up during him. So you can hear screaming, yelling about this guy, but he's the problem. And as soon as he says that, the crowd yells. Ron DeSantis clears his throat. He gets all scared. You think he might not be a president ever again because he can't handle whenever the crowd isn't in his favor, apparently. And then he even has the person that's supposed to be in the middle of this debate.
Crowd settle down now.
Settle the crowd down because Charlie Crist got appointed. That's fucking weird.
That's weird.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm so Ron DeSantis. I am pro Ron DeSantis because I am here because of Ron DeSantis. But at the same time, I have to point out that the fact is Charlie Crist did change the crowd. The crowd was leaning independent, and that lady had no bounds once the crowd changed its authority to then start regulating the crowd. That's suspicious against Ron DeSantis.
Okay, but Alex...
Because that's weird that you got to start silencing the crowd
and I get that.
Once Crist gets appointed.
I get it. This is Florida. Let's see if the crowd pays attention.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that part.
Again and again. Do you believe
They
it's
don't pay attention
time
for, like, 2
new
minutes.
regulations,
Like,
restrictions,
let's see if
or
10
limits
minutes if they can
on
keep
where
paying attention.
and how we build along the coast? Being on the water is a defining part of the Florida lifestyle, but these homes and businesses are regularly subject to devastating losses, which then cost all of us
Florida
billions.
is decorum,
Does
though.
something
They might
need to
all just
change?
not say anything the rest of the time.
Yeah, they
You know,
won't. They're like,
Hurricane
"We're
Ian
sorry."
was
Lessons.
a disaster storm, a nightmare, frankly. We had, the structure go up for all of the buildings in
They're gonna
Florida
give them
right
a
after
minute for a
Hurricane Andrew
minute.
years ago. And thank God that happened. And in this part of the state where the storm hit, right after Hurricane Charlie, even more so. So I think we've addressed that. What needs to be addressed is how we treat a storm before it makes landfall. And unfortunately, Governor DeSantis failed on this. What happened is this storm was approaching Florida, one of the biggest storms in the history of our state, the most deadly storm in the modern history of Florida. And what was Governor DeSantis doing? The Friday night before it made landfall, he went to a football game. He was AWOL for almost 24 hours, didn't encourage Lee County to evacuate. And as a result, 100 people lose their lives. That's not a good record. And that's not good
Versus
leadership.
New Orleans
And Florida
versus others,
deserves
he
better.
won that battle.
We have to be
He
prepared
was
when the
very
storms
much
are
there.
coming in. He had access to all the modern technology
talking
you
to
can
Biden
have,
even.
all the modern radar available, and he
right.
still
You really
failed to
don't
have them
have-
evacuate.
Thank you, Congressman.
That's
Governor?
unbelievable.
You have
Yeah,
1
well,
minute.
look, I'm proud that we had 42,000 linemen staged, ready to go, unprecedented array of first responders. We were able to get in
He
a
knew
record
he
time,
couldn't fuck that one up.
effectuate thousands of rescues, get the power back on for millions of people in record time. And when the bridges got wiped out in Pine Island and in Sanibel, people thought those islands were going to be severed from the mainland for 6 months to a year. We did the
Facts.
Pine Island restoration in 3 days, and we did
Whoa.
the
That was
Sanibel
facts.
Causeway restoration in 2 weeks. Now those
Holy
islands
shit.
have
I
the
didn't know
ability
that.
to recover. And Charlie Crist is sitting there. You know what he was doing during this? He was in hiding out in Puerto Rico. He wasn't helping his community here. And then when he got back, what did he do?
They're back.
They're back!
They're back.
They're back!
And when he got back, what did he do? His campaign was soliciting
you.
campaign contributions from
Immediately go
storm
back.
victims. That is
soon as they get a
unacceptable,
laugh
and that's
on
not
them,
what a
it's
leader
go.
would do in a time of despair.
They're
Congressman, you
right
have
back
30
in.
seconds.
Governor, that's not true, and you know it. Let's face what the facts are in this situation.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they're right
you know,
back
whether
in.
it comes
They're
to
right back
COVID
in.
They were
or
good for
comes
2
to
minutes.
2
hurricane,
minutes.
Ron ignored
I love
science.
this crowd, though.
He
It's
doesn't
the
think
best.
that they know what's right
'Cause they're
to-
willing to give it
apply to.
all.
And he thinks he knows better than everybody. Look at any issue that we're facing in the state of Florida. He thinks he's the only one that has the right answer, whether it's usurping your local school board, whether it's doing anything else in education, banning books, for example. I mean, it's unbelievable what has happened. And so you have to apply science and illustrate to the people and protect.
And then he's like, what are you
And I
talking about,
reject
bro?
my opponent's attempt to politicize this, because these local communities did mobilize. And if you looked at that track, everyone was focusing on Tampa Bay the Monday night before the storm. We woke up Tuesday
Facts,
morning,
facts,
the models
facts,
had shifted
facts.
into
Yeah.
Sarasota. All the folks in Southwest Florida were activated. Lee County did issue evacuations. You had a number of
Facts.
residents have been through a lot of hurricanes, and it looked like it may be going a little north. So people were following that very intently. Those folks did a good job. You know, the governor, our message was listen to your locals. It's ultimately a local decision. They do the shelters, but I stand
Thank you,
by
Governor.
every one of our local counties. They stood
Facts.
up, they
Thank you,
worked
Governor.
hard, and they made the best decisions they
That's
could
time.
with the information that they had.
Woo!
Our final
Okay.
question.
So here's the thing. With this, I just got to pause this one more time now with the whole crowd thing.
Yeah.
If crowds are going to respond the way that crowds are responding in Florida to this governor's debate, crowds are a necessity that needs to happen in all debates moving
Well, yeah,
forward.
because they're the live studio audience that's not manipulated.
They are
They're the sway-
hyping the moments that you feel authentically. They are the black church. Like, have you ever been to a black church? I know you screamed as soon as I said this, but I'm being honest. They're being a black church. Have you ever been to a black church?
I mean, I know what stereotypically they
So
are.
here's the thing with black churches. So like you go to church and you're like, you got regular church, like if you're a Christian or a Catholic, you got regular church that's like teaching you the fundamentals of like how to be a person, right?
Yeah.
And then you got like the rock version or the rap version or like the urban version of that, which is like, we're not like parents, but also we don't drink. Let's like do guitar or something like in this play pit together, and
Guitar?
so like it's
the
like
country that has slaves.
It's no guitar.
Okay. It sounded like you said guitar. Guitar.
I'm a little drunk. So no, but like the thing is like so you have that. So there's like this hip version which is like Hillsong, and then you have like the Catholic Church, and you have like Methodists and Protestants and all of that stuff, which is like fundamentalism and all that. But when you go to a black church, you go to like a fundamentally black church.
And you have been to black churches.
Yes. Black churches, like Christian black churches, Baptist churches especially, fuck, those things are amazing. Talk about somebody that you gotta truly believe is feeling God right now, because they're like having a seizure on the floor. It's all choreographed. The whole thing like feels completely like an authentic experience to you. It's the response is authenticity, and that's what happens a lot with black culture when you see like that happen in like then rap, and then also in like a lot of boxing or fights, because they're black oriented.
Okay, Alex,
so you have listen, like seriously, you have that culture invade that. And so, and I think it really comes from gospel Christian black churches that especially oriented that, which is like, if you feel like you've actually gotten something done or fixed in you today on this Sunday, you're gonna let it out, because you gotta just like let that shit out. And it's not tongues. It's not like fucking God speaking through me. It's just the emotion. And that's what's happening with these crowds, and that's what happens at like rap concerts. That's what happens at fights, at football games, at basketball games. If somebody dunks the ball in somebody's face, no matter who you are,
Alex,
you're gonna go,
this, but
fuck yeah.
I think drawing the conclusion that the reason why this Florida debate is rowdy is because of black churches, that's a really big stretch. I think it's just human nature, and people like
No, I'm saying the orientation of the crowd to devote itself to being bipartisan in nature, but feeling the flow of the energy in the moment, is devoted to Christian, black, gospel, fucking
Alex, I think
Baptist
you're wrong.
churches
I think
and the
you're
way
wrong.
in which
I
they
think
expose
it's just
themselves.
people that pregame before this and want to have fun and are having a blast and that are just being here like a sporting event.
On the
More
economy,
likely.
Well,
John
I'm
in
game.
Gainesville asks, what are your plans to reduce the effects of inflation on Floridians if the federal government cannot come up with a viable solution?
All right.
Governor?
Well, we know that these are the effects of the Biden-Crist policies, the worst inflation in 40 years. And Charlie Crist votes with Biden 100% of the time. And he says that Biden is the best president he's ever seen. So he's locked together with these policies that have hurt so many people throughout our state and our country. Here's what we're going to do. One, we have the 5th lowest gas prices in the country right now because we did do a gas tax holiday. We're proud of that.
I'm a fucking
what we're
Uber
going
driver.
to do for
We
Floridians
do.
who commute, we're going to reduce
God.
tolls by 50% statewide for all commuters in the state of Florida.
Oh, yeah, the
We are going to
tolls.
make all baby items, diapers, cribs, wipes, you name it, tax-free permanently in the state of Florida, so you can
permanently.
raise kids and get by.
Tax-free baby wipes?
Oh!
You know, we have a 5 and a 4 and a 2-year-old. Our 2 oldest are out of diapers. My wife asked me, why didn't you propose that your first year in office? Well, you live and you learn. And we're also going to say that pet food is going to be tax-free in the state of Florida. So this is going to be the largest tax relief plan in the history of the state of Florida. You're able to do that when you have a strong economy.
Tax-free, Elaine, you hear that? You hear that, baby?
All right, look.
You hear that, baby? See, that's great. No.
When
But here's, I do have to say this, though. You know, I appreciate that because they're always like, families. And then they're like, but all you people that have pets that don't have families, we're going to help you out, too. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that because usually you get left out.
When you start talking about pets, though, I think it's time to move on.
We're watching this whole thing, Alex.
You want to watch that whole thing?
We are watching the whole thing. That is the whole point. We are watching this whole thing.
And you don't want to give any airtime to Chris Cuomo doing a live debate after being canceled by CNN with Dr. Oz and John Fetterman, who is currently trending on YouTube.
Alex, we were watching the whole debate, and then we can watch the whole other debate. We're doing this.
You really think you're going to go for it?
We're going for it,
and
but
you're
you
not drunk, and you're not high, and you're going to go for this?
Yes, we're going to go for this, but you can't talk as much, Alex.
Okay. No more pauses, I promise. But if you think you can get through this...
YouTube, dude. You're looking at the wrong place.
Oh, I know. We're going to Prime Video because we're watching Lord of the Rings. Because that's what this night's about now. All right, we're back.
Congressman, you have 1 minute.
Congressman, you have 1 minute.
That's interesting. I would agree with your wife. You should have done that the first year you were in office. I mean, aren't you supposed to be helping us all 4 years instead of just the last year? And Ron, you talk about Joe Biden a lot. I understand.
I love that one.
You think you're going to be running against him. I can see how you might get confused. But you're running for governor. You're running for governor, and I have a question for you. You're running for governor. Why don't you look in the eyes of the people of the state of Florida and say to them, if you're reelected, you will serve a full 4-year term?
Oh!
Yes or no?
Fucking hey!
Yes or no, Ron?
He can't say it.
Will you serve a full 4-year term if you're reelected governor of Florida?
He can't say it.
No, because he won't.
It's not a tough question.
Because he won't. He will be
it's
videoed
a fair
on
question.
that.
He won't tell you.
He won't tell you.
We did not agree on the candidates asking each other
it my
questions.
time?
Governor,
Oh.
Well, listen, I know.
Oh, wait a minute. Gotta pause on that. Hold on. So this was a big thing that came up in AP News about this debate. 2 things happened. Apparently, the moderator told the audience multiple times, calm down, and they wouldn't, and that they're now considering never having an audience again in Florida.
What?
And the second one...
That was the best part.
I know, it was the best part. That's why I went into my whole like Christian, gospel, Baptist expression. I said black. I'm clearly racist for saying black. It's not black. It's just gospel Baptist. It's Southern Baptist behavior. It's speaking out when you feel emotion. But
That's
anyway.
just being a person.
Right. But
in a crowd.
It's just a thing that they do. Like the hype of it.
People do this in sporting events.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you do. Yeah, sports too. Sports are very equatable too.
It's just people, Alex. It's just people
humans
in a crowd.
Humans
Okay,
doing
right.
the ape
you
emotions.
Said you weren't gonna
but
pause
anyway,
so much.
I know I won't pause it again. But last thing I will say about this is the second thing they said was that this moderator was amazing and fair because she told the audience multiple times to calm down. And she also was fair to both candidates and told Ron DeSantis that his time was up and told Charlie Crist that he wasn't allowed to ask other candidates questions. And I feel like that's fucking bullshit because the question he's fucking asking is a roast-ass motherfucking question, and Ron DeSantis, you can't answer that question, then fuck you! Fucking lose the debate. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know you don't want to be, that's the last thing I'll say. Last thing I'll say. Ron DeSantis knows right now, on that motherfucking face that we're seeing right up there right now. Oh no, if they film me in 2022 saying I will stay 4 more years, there's no way I beat Joe Biden. But he's also already thinking that in his head, which means he's that fucking good. He already knows he's going to beat this motherfucker, become president, and do this whole thing. So like, whatever, you know what I mean? He's like, you're not gonna catch me right now doing something that's gonna fuck it all up.
Don't tell them. We both know I'm gonna run in 2020, but I gotta win this first, okay, dude? Shh.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. He can't do it. He can't do it. All right.
I know that Charlie's interested in talking about 2024 and Joe Biden, but I just want to make things very, very clear. The only worn-out old donkey I'm looking to put out to pasture is Charlie Crist. You want to talk about standing up for taxpayers. When Charlie Crist was governor, he ran saying he would not raise taxes. He became governor, and he signed off on the largest increase in taxes and fees in the history of the state of Florida.
That's time,
we
Governor.
just enacted the largest decrease in taxes in the history of Florida.
Thank you, Governor. Congressman, you have 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, Ron, we know you love to bully people, and the little name calling you just exchanged, I can take it, but you shouldn't do it when children are standing behind you at a press conference and they're wearing a mask and giving hell.
Boo. Why are you
Apparently
cheering
that's
that?
your nature, and
You're not
that's too
drunk enough
bad.
for that?
So
Boo
what we
that.
need to do on the economy
He's
is
got a lot
make
of
sure that
laughs.
we're focused on Florida. You know, he keeps talking about the Biden administration this, the Biden administration that. This is the DeSantis administration, and under the DeSantis administration, the middle class is getting
And people are
crunched
like,
in
yes!
Florida. You can't
He's
get an
trying to
apartment,
keep
you
his
can't
face
afford a
straight,
house,
but
you
it
can't
looks
pay your
worried.
property insurance
That's
because
the
he's
problem.
taken his eye off
He looks
the ball
like Nixon
over
on
and
the
over
stage.
and
Thank you,
over.
He's very looking worried. I don't like that.
We are now going to move
I
on
want
to
him to
another
be more
topic
smile.
that is top of mind for many Florida families, education.
I love her hair, by the way.
The
It's
pandemic
so nice.
and remote learning
needs to
exposed
stop telling
parents
audience
to
what
what
to
was
do,
going
or
on
smack
in
her.
America's classrooms like never before. Disputes over masks and reopening schools had parents across Florida demanding more say in their children's education. Part of your response, Governor, was to sign the Parental Rights in Education Act, which you, Congressman, called a, quote, heinous piece of legislation. Governor DeSantis, the Parental Rights in Education Act and the Stop Woke Act are centerpieces of your agenda for Florida schools. Why? And Congressman, do you believe
Yeah,
it's
that's the
important to
problem,
educate
is he
students
does
in
stuff like
kindergarten
that.
through third grade about sexual orientation and gender identity? Congressman, you have 60 seconds.
What I think is important is
It's a
to
left and
educate
right.
children on science, math, and history, and true history, and fact. Since we're talking about education in Florida, 9,000 teachers and staff have left Florida because of the way he has treated public schools in our state, and it's wrong. We are the third largest state in America.
I gotta agree.
And his
My mom won't
administration
move
is
here.
paying our teachers 48 out of 50 states. That's embarrassing. We can and we should and we need to do better than that. We need to have a focus on education and
I
not
do like
politicize and make political war
he
zones
wants
out
to
of our
make
schools.
veterans
We need to support
teachers
our
now.
schools, support our teachers, have our parents involved.
can't
That's
always pay
absolutely
teachers
essential.
high.
And that's what we need to get back
Sometimes you
to,
don't
is
can't
basics.
afford it.
Instead of having all
Especially
these
if you're not taking
cultural and
any tax
political
money from
wars that Ron loves to do,
And
as
you
I
can afford
said,
good
because he
teachers.
wants to run for president and he's out
And
of
the
state
veterans
raising all
teach.
this money all the time.
That sounds great.
Governor, you have 60 seconds.
Well, I would say when you oppose the Parents' Rights in Education bill, which
Veterans
prevents
teach.
6, 7, 8-year-olds from having sexuality, gender ideology injected in their curriculum.
No,
you are
veterans
the one
teach,
that's
you
waging
fucking
a culture
moron.
war. I'm simply defending parents and students because it's inappropriate to have that in elementary school. It's inappropriate to tell a 6-year-old that they were born in the wrong body. It's inappropriate to tell an 8-year-old that they may have been born a girl, but maybe they're really a boy. That's wrong. We need to do the basics. We need to teach them to read, write, add, and subtract. And if we do that, we'll continue to lead in 4th grade reading and 4th grade math like we did in today's NAEP results, which is a
Doesn't
great
speak to the
testament
pay
to
problem
having open
at all.
schools and a lot of hardworking folks in our school system. I also signed.
be talking about
I'm the
veterans
father
for
of a
teach.
5-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old daughter, as well as a 4-year-old son. But my daughters are very athletic, and we signed legislation to protect the right of women athletes. That you should not have someone competing on the men's team for 3
That's a good
years and then
argument.
switch to the women's team. Charlie Crist opposed
Governor,
that
that's
bill. He
time.
said he would have vetoed it. I'm going to protect women's sports in the state of Florida.
Congressman, you have 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. There you go again, Ron. It's all about culture wars. It's all about dividing us. I'm a uniter.
Yeah.
I think we need to,
Wow.
be giving our state a chance to unite again. You love
Look at that.
dividing
He's
our
scared.
state. You know, whether it's blacks against whites, whether it's gay against straight, whether it's young versus old. You're making it harder for people to vote in our state. You know, we just started early polling today, early voting rather, today.
Okay.
And he made it harder
Watch
to
the
mail
watch
in
your
ballots.
stuff, buddy.
I have a 90-year-old
Oh, don't
father,
do
an
this.
88-year-old
Don't do this.
mother.
You're
They
lost.
love
You
to
can go
exercise.
voting
vote.
now.
You're lost in Florida on the
For
melon
like
voting.
3 weeks
Come
before the
on.
election. Come on.
Governor, you have 30
You
seconds.
don't even need to speak anymore, you crock of
I think
shit.
denying girls and women
Bad
athletes the right to
argument.
compete fairly, I think that's divisive. I think it's divisive to rip
Fucking yeah,
opportunities
that's not
away,
fucking
from
culture
our
war.
girls
That's
in the state of
real.
Florida. And you want to talk about divisive. The day after Charlie Crist won his primary, he said, anyone that supports the governor, you have hate in your heart and I don't want your vote. Well, think what that means. I'm endorsed by every police group in the state of Florida. I'm endorsed by the firefighters. I'm endorsed by the truckers, the nurse anesthetist, retail federation, farm bureau, the whole cross-section of the state of Florida is backing me. They do not have hate in their hearts because they reject Charlie Crist. They want to keep Florida going and they want to keep Florida free.
Might be time, but it's not time for Charlie Crist.
Also on education.
Ouch. That was a bad
Critical
one.
race theory has ignited controversy in school districts around the country.
I'm gonna walk out
Here
for a
in
minute
Florida, it is
because
now
I need to
against the
take a
law
minute for
to give
myself for that
lessons
one.
which might cause a student, quote, psychological distress because of actions in which the person played no part committed in the past by other members of the same race, color, national origin, or sex. What do you believe is the best way to address issues of race in our history and in modern life in the public school setting? Governor?
Well, Florida statutes require teaching all of American history, including slavery, civil rights, segregation. It's important that that's taught. But what I think is not good is
mad about that.
based on skin color.
It's so weird.
Good to distort American history by saying that the American Revolution was fought to defend slavery, which is not true. I think we should have a history like Abraham Lincoln.
Not true at all. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Like Frederick Douglass. These are great eternal principles. We've got a great Constitution, and people have used those principles to make great progress over the course of our country's history. I'm proud of our history. I don't want to teach kids to hate our country. I don't want to teach kids to hate each other. And the way to stop discrimination on the basis of race is to stop discriminating on the basis of race.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you on that. Fucking Florida being so bipartisan on this debate.
He talks about not teaching about the history of our country that might offend some people in our schools. We ought to teach facts in our schools. We ought to teach the truth in our schools. There's an old expression.
We do teach facts in our schools.
May be condemned to repeat it. Usually people use that in reference to the Holocaust. It could just as easily be referenced to slavery in our country. It happened. It's a fact. We shouldn't have a whitewash approach to educating our children. How are they going to do well in life?
Okay, if they don't but what do you mean by whitewash? You want to do CRT, bro?
Hate each other in our schools. I don't know where you get that idea. I don't have hate in my heart, and I don't think we need to be doing that in our schools. Why you think that's happening right now is beyond me. We need to get back on track. We need to apply common sense. We need to do what's right. And you're taking away from all these other issues because you don't want to talk about taking away a woman's right to choose. You don't ever want to talk about it. And that's on the ballot in this election.
That's time, folks.
And you didn't sign the bill.
He's always going for abortion because he's a fucking Democrat. He's a fucking career politician.
No wonder you want to talk about all this crazy
We're going to have
stuff.
to leave it right there. Governor, you have 30 seconds.
Yeah, so it actually, if you look around the country, they do have programs, unfortunately, well, they will take a student, look at their race, say, okay, you're white, you're an oppressor. If you're black, you're oppressed. And think about what that does to a 6 or 7-year-old kid. That's wrong. You're seeing that. You have people that are teaching, and actually his running mate has said this in the past, that teaching the United States was built on stolen land. That is inappropriate for our schools. It's not true. And I'm happy that we're going to be able to have accurate history, and we're going to make sure that we honor those who have sacrificed so that we can be free.
Congressman, you have 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that like every name in all of Florida is like a Cherokee name.
I mean, it keeps going back to this stuff. These outrageous, radical
comments. Indians don't exist. We didn't take their land. Andrew Jackson owned this. Like, what?
This is Florida.
What?
You're the governor of Florida right now. You won't even say if you want to be the governor of Florida after this election. But you are right now. And you need to be focused on what's happening in our schools. Our schools are doing a decent job, and they're not teaching hate. They're teaching reading, writing, and arithmetic. They're doing it with good teachers, but you don't respect them, and that's why they're fleeing our schools. We need a governor who cares about education.
We're going to move on
real
to our
education.
next question. You cannot have school without
I think
teachers.
you just got, like,
and districts
kids
up
on
and
both
down
sides
the state are
that
struggling
are
to
going
fill
hype
open
beast.
jobs. Even though the National Education Association reports Florida now ranks 15th in starting teacher pay. Governor, you have proposed making it easier for veterans and first responders to join the ranks
There you
of
go.
school teachers
Vets.
But
That's
some
his
argue
teach.
your
Thank you,
policies, which we have just discussed, are a barrier to new educators. Congressman, you believe
that's
the
her
solution
teach.
is
Talk
declaring
about
a
that's her
public
teach, man.
emergency
It's
and
fucking
increasing spending for health care and other benefits in a system that already makes up a significant chunk of the state budget.
What's up with
Is
her
money
drawer?
the answer?
Why's her drawer open with a bunch of wires
Money
in
does
it?
help.
They should get a bomb in
You
it.
know, if you invest in what you care about and you prioritize by how you spend your money.
It's a weird drawer.
This governor, as I said before, is spending for our teachers. They're 48 out of 50 states in America. We're the third largest state in America. He's got a budget surplus.
Right.
Why can't you treat teachers better than that? That doesn't make sense to me. You invest in what's important in other areas of our state. You make sure that we have infrastructure. That's why a member of Congress, I voted for the infrastructure that got the Sanibel Bridge built back up as quickly that you took
It
credit
really
for.
doesn't, because you look at
But
like
it's
the high
important to
education
invest in
teachers and they
things that
don't
matter to the people of our state.
teach education.
Like actually regulating our utility rates, and you're not. Like actually bringing down the price of property insurance, and you're not. Like actually making sure that our taxes are lower, not higher. You raised them $1 billion on every consumer in the state. You did that. You raised the highest taxes
There's no teacher
ever.
shortages, sir.
Governor,
And
you have
talk about-
60 seconds.
Well, I think that teacher pay is very important, and when Charlie Crist was governor, he did nothing about it for 4 years. In fact, he cut education $300 million. What have I done? We've done the largest increase in teacher compensation in the history of the state of Florida.
He's like,
As
we're
you
trying to
mentioned,
fix
Liz,
what
we now
you
rank
fucking
much higher
fucked
with
up.
average minimum salary because we focused on that because we knew that was important to recruit good teachers. So we've raised the average minimum salary by over 20%. We're now #1 in the Southeast, and I created with the legislature a categorical budget item where the money has to go to teacher salaries. Because what happens is we send the money to school districts. You know, his running mate is a teachers union boss. She makes almost $200,000 a year. The teachers down in Miami don't make that. So I don't want the money going to teachers unions. I want the money going in the pockets of teachers. So we are going to do $1 billion categorical in next year's budget. We've made tremendous progress, and we're going to continue to do it.
The audience doesn't understand, but he just like fucking
30 seconds.
took him for a ride.
Ron,
He's
when I
like,
was governor,
your running
we paid our
mate's
teachers
job.
more per dollar than you are, and you have a surplus. I governed when we had a great recession, and we did it because we prioritized it. It was the right thing to do. That's how you need to lead. You need to lead by uniting.
You're smiling and laughing because
He
you're
talks
lying.
about dividing us all night long. It's what he does.
Is somebody going to
It's who
fact
you
check
are.
him?
It's what he's about. You deserve a better governor who cares about women and your freedom and your right to choose, and your right to vote and to
That's
support
time.
it.
That's time.
That's
Governor,
what's
you have
important.
30 seconds.
And so we're going to continue to do more with the teachers, but I think this is also important. We're talking about schools. I oppose allowing school districts to force students to get the COVID shot. Charlie Crist wants to force students to get the COVID
Oh, he just
shot.
throws another opinion
we
in.
passed a
That's
bill to
good.
prevent that. He opposed the bill when we did it. I think this is a parent's decision. I think it's wrong to force this on these kids. And as long as I'm governor, as parents, you're going to have the ability to make that decision. We are not going to subcontract out
Look at
your
him, he's
parental
like,
rights to Charlie and his special
Governor,
interest
that's
studies.
We're going to move on now.
Please.
No, you already had your 30 seconds. We're going to move on.
Oh.
I've got to be fair. You each got 60. You each got
We're
30.
the only state in America.
No,
under
I'm
his
sorry. We're going to
leadership
move
that
on
didn't
to public
order
health.
vaccines for
Moving
children.
on to
Oh!
I'm sorry, Congressman. Public health, which has been at the forefront of public policy debate, perhaps never more so than after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade.
Just when I was
now,
questioning whether we
a
stay
legal
on
challenge
it,
to
that, I
Florida's
mean, you're right.
15-week
Stay on it.
abortion
Okay.
ban passed by the legislature and signed by Governor DeSantis is making its way through the courts. The Florida Supreme Court, which will ultimately decide on this issue, has previously found the state constitution's privacy clause applies to abortion access. This question comes from Wayne in Stewart.
So then why
In
does it
your
matter?
opinion, after
How
what
you
week
believe.
of pregnancy should abortion
We already
be
know
banned?
you're protected under
Governor.
your own private organization.
Well, I was thinking back in the aftermath of this to a poor woman over 40 years ago in Jamaica, and she found herself pregnant, didn't think there'd be much opportunity to have a child, was urged to abort the baby, went to get the abortion, and, you know, for whatever reason, and maybe we can't explain, that didn't end up happening, and she ended up having the baby. And I think about that because a few months ago, I appointed her daughter to be the first Jamaican American justice in the history of the Florida Supreme Court. I just think we're better when everybody
Fucking
counts.
yeah.
I understand not everyone's going to be born in perfect circumstances, but I would like to see everybody have a shot. I'm proud of the 15 weeks that we did.
That's a
I know
hell of a
Charlie
one
Crist
to throw.
opposes that, even though the baby is fully formed, has a heartbeat, can feel pain, and can suck their thumb. He also supports sex-selective abortions, which is used to discriminate against little girls. He supports dismemberment abortions, where they literally will tear the baby limb from limb, and he supports taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up
What is
until
liar?
the moment of
Can we
birth,
pause
and
it
that
real
is
quick?
wrong.
Can we pause real quick because I gotta explain this to the audience. So here's the thing that keeps going on in every single debate. I won't get into it too deeply, but I will explain this very
Alex
quickly.
is going to tell you about abortion.
The debate with abortion in America in
man.
2022.
A
Okay?
man.
So
A
here's a man, a white man. You gotta show me your reaction for the TikTok. A white man explaining abortion. All right. So.
Dun-dun-dun.
Dun-dun-dun. So every time that a Republican speaks on abortion, they're going to push the button and they're going to ask a Democratic candidate in this new midterm of 2022. So you want to take that fetus that just fell out of that baby at 9 months and stab it in the heart and eat it like a vampire? And the Democrat goes, I'm not answering that question. I just support abortion. And then the Republican goes back and goes, all right, well, let me explain to you. So if you understand what abortion is murder. And murder is like, you could stab a 9-month-old baby and eat it like I just said, or you could take the 1-month-old baby and just like kill it a little bit. But like I'm saying, like, where's the line? And this motherfucker's like, let's eat 9-month-old babies. So like, where's the line? And the other guys answer every time, the Democratic answer every time, which is very worrisome for like the new age of politics. You want to get into a Handmaid's Tale. You want to get us all to be like, fuck abortion forever. Tell us that you're going to start stabbing 9-month-old babies. And so far, the Democratic side of it continues to never make a stance fully on abortion. Every single candidate across the board, Senate, gubernatorial, or in the House, if you ask them, yeah, I understand. I would like abortion after 18 weeks or 700 weeks or whatever. But what do you feel? Do you want to murder 8-year-old babies? And you're like, I don't know. I just love abortion. That's the answer every time. So it's very concerning on both sides because you have people like Lindsey Graham that are saying, I want to do abortions up to 15 weeks. And then you have Democrats respond to Lindsey Graham saying that by saying that that bill is an abortion ban. How is it a ban on abortion if he's literally creating a bill for you to have an abortion for the first 15 weeks? That's not an abortion ban. It can't be. Because the whole point of the law is for you to be able to have abortions.
Okay.
So there's like a lot of fucking nuance on this shit. But again, I just feel it's really weird that no Democrat can ever say where their stance is on abortion. But then every Republican is like, where is the stance? As though they don't even know themselves.
Well, no, because I think it all goes down to the thing of like, can we all agree that after a certain amount of time, a baby in a womb...
But let's pick it and stand with it.
Alex, I am a woman talking, and you just got to talk for like 5 minutes as a man.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And I interject.
I am so
to
sorry.
try to...
I fucked up this conversation. I am so sorry.
Right? Can we all agree?
We're
that Alex just like decided to just talk about this whole thing, and when I as a woman decided to like share my thought, he decided to talk over me. Okay, what I was gonna say is, I think we can all agree that there's a certain point in a pregnancy where the baby is viable, and like, cause I was born like 3 weeks early, all right? I was born 3 weeks early as a baby. So, like, technically, if, like, I had been aborted at that 3 weeks, like, that would have been weird because I also could have existed as a person, right? So the point is, I think Republicans are just trying to be like, look, can we just set some boundaries? Because some people agree, some people don't. Can we just, like, compromise? And, like, Democrats are like, no, and it's fine whenever.
It's
and, like, and
whatever.
logically, there has to be a thing. There has to
limit.
be a boundary. You can't just say, and because the Democrats are saying,
And that's the argument now, is there a limit?
because the Democrats are saying, well, I disagree with it, then they're opening the door for Republicans to be like, so you agree, so then you, because
You
you're not
say
setting
there's
up
no limit.
because you're saying there's no limit, like, we can abort a baby at 9 months.
Right.
And because the Democrats are not being like, okay, well, actually, like, yeah, I think at, like, 7 months is, like, the limit. No, they're just being like, whatever. You're not creating the boundary. And
Right.
Republicans are saying, what's the boundary?
And that's what's so infuriating is you get people like Eliza Schlesinger on Joe Rogan, MSNBC's Rachel Maddow and Alex Wagner, all these people that are very much like, holy shit, this world's going to turn into Handmaid's Tale any second. But none of them are declaring where that stance is in abortion.
Yeah.
And we all know that if you're a Democrat and you believe in abortion, you got to start making a stance as to where you lie in the world of when it's okay. Because if you keep saying it's okay whenever, you're essentially saying you're killing actual life that's already been birthed. Or debating the life up until birth, which no one wants to debate. No one that's in the independent world of the new America, we are the new whole. I'm claiming that now. After tonight, I think there is no Republican or Democrat. There is just Kim and Alex, independents, and the rest of the independents of America.
Alex has had too much to drink.
We are in a new world where people believe in freedom and independence, and they're all looking at this the same way we are. Okay? I need to believe in that.
Okay.
And if I'm believing in that, that's where I'm going. Can we please, can we go to, I don't want to be insensitive, but can we go to the guy that's doing the Dr. Oz with the pills? Like, it's Chris Cuomo, too. You got enough hype beast of Ron DeSantis, all right?
we got enough hype beast.
I've really pushed you. I feel like the only way we can get through this whole night.
Okay, we are officially, like, halfway through, so okay. All right.
Ron DeSantis is going to win the debate no matter what because he has more fans.
Okay.
All right? And Ron DeSantis is definitely going to win Florida because we don't want to fuck up Florida by letting Charlie... Can we just... Let's resolve this with the debate. Is Charlie Crist a viable candidate at this point? As a Republican governor that now is a Democratic candidate for freaking governor.
No, he's not.
No, because you can't flip-flop and think we all forgot it. It's really that simple.
Okay. I will also remind Alex that it is past midnight now and we have neighbors.
But again, what would your rebuttal be to that? Is there anything else that you have to
I
add?
say let's move on. Let's go.
Charlie Crist, abortion, this is on the issue. As a woman, do you have a boner for Charlie Crist and want to vote for him because he will support your abortions?
No. Charlie Crist.
Well, then you're not a woman.
But Alex, what is a woman?
Not you, because you're not voting for Charlie Crist. And that makes you not a woman.
All right, let's do this Fetterman debate and call it. So y'all can watch the rest of that DeSantis debate on YouTube if you Google it.
Just remember, guys, the thing that I had pointed out at the beginning of the night that I will at least edit a little bit in between all of our logistical errors is that on YouTube, the #1 trending search was John Fetterman, besides the Ant-Man trailer that we watched. So
you got Fetterman versus
Is it Fetterman because he roasted the fuck out of Oz and he won this whole debate and it's all over and he has that 60% lead and he's done? Or is it Fetterman because like he totally Stephen Hawking the shit out of this and everybody's scared as fuck?
All right, let's go.
You ready for this?
Okay,
You ready
okay,
for this?
it's fair. It's
you ready
fair.
for this? Come on, you excited? You gotta be excited. Is he gonna show up? Is he gonna show up in a wheelchair? What's he gonna do?
Why would he show up in a wheelchair?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's all fucking. It could be anything. It could be anything at this point.
Where are we going? Do you have it?
It could be anything.
Cuomo?
Debate night in America.
Debate night in America. No,
Debate night
that's
in
not
America.
Cuomo. That's what's other face.
Yeah, no. It's him and that guy.
Oh.
Both
Well,
of
but
them.
why don't they have Cuomo in the thumbnail?
Because it's that guy's show, and so they decided to give him the headline. Here we go.
He chose money over his conscience.
My opponent, John Fetterman,
And people said that he couldn't debate. So let's see if he debates.
Insult
If
stealing
he
the
debates, I think he
spotlight while
wins.
voters want a voice on the issues.
I'm thinking about women's rights.
Unity of the people.
I'm looking for civility.
I think public health is most important.
Our leaders are not leaders at all.
Tonight, Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman and Dr. Mehmet Oz face to face for the first and only time. Both men looking to prove they have what it takes to represent the people of Pennsylvania.
I mean, most of Dr. Oz's campaign was that he wouldn't debate him.
Live from the ABC 27 studios
So if he
in
debates
Harrisburg,
well, I
this
think
is
John
the
Fetterman
Pennsylvania
wins and it's
US
over.
Senate
And it's a roast,
debate.
and that means Democrats pretty much hold the Senate. And
Welcome to
I'm
Debate
fine
Night
with that
in
if
America.
John
I'm
Fetterman
Leland
can hold
Vitter
his
from
own
News
here.
Nation. The stakes tonight could not be higher, not only for the Keystone State, but for the country. Control of the U.S. Senate for either party runs through Pennsylvania. Dennis Owens, WHTM political reporter and anchor here in Harrisburg,
Oh,
along
it's
with
not
Lisa
Chris
Sylvester
Cuomo.
from
They said it wasn't
WPXI
going
in
to
Pittsburgh,
be.
will moderate
Alex
tonight's
is disappointed
debate.
now. He thought it was
We want to
Cuomo.
welcome our viewers watching tonight from across
What
the
is this
country
shit?
on
They've
News
been
Nation.
switching this shit up so
Voters
much.
can watch this
They're
debate in
supposed to be
all
this guy and
67
Chris Cuomo
Pennsylvania
doing it.
counties on 9 television stations serving the Commonwealth. Before we get started, let's go over tonight's rules. Mr. Fetterman, Mr. Oz, you will have 60 seconds to answer each
Yeah,
question.
they got him, 'cause it's
if
like
there's
a guy
follow-up
on a
question
machine
or
or
rebuttal, you will have up to 30 seconds. Each candidate will also have 90 seconds for a closing statement. When your time is up, you'll hear this bell. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. Dennis and Lisa.
Okay, we heard the bell. This is what I'll say about the bell. You're feeling tired. I'm very drunk and loopy. We're having fun here on debate night. At least I am. My side. At any point,
I'm
Kim.
the sober voice of reason.
At any point, Kim, you can ring the bell. Ding, ding.
Okay.
And when you ring the bell and you declare who the winner of this debate is, it's over. We go to bed.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
All right.
Debate night in America.
Okay, can you not scream
Thank
so
you,
much? We do have
Leland. Good
neighbors.
evening, candidates
sorry.
who moments ago
Sorry.
just met for the first time. We're happy to have you here.
All right.
Welcome to our audience watching at home, on air, online, and on News
Although
Nation.
Not as good looking as the Florida lady.
Everyone who is watching tonight, to share your thoughts on social media,
No
remember to
machine.
use the
He's there.
hashtag PA Senate Debate.
And you may notice these large monitors that
Oh,
are
no,
behind
that's
us.
the
This
monitor.
is part of our closed captioning system. It was
This is the
requested
warning.
by John Fetterman to help him process the questions that we are asking him tonight and approved by both campaigns, and both candidates can see the monitors.
One of the screens will show only the questions being asked tonight. The second screen will capture
Remember,
the
Kim, you're in the
questions
bell.
and responses
You decide.
from them at odds. We have live, experienced captioners in studio to ensure we are as accurate as possible in what's sure to be a fast-paced program.
And just a note, for those of you using closed captioning at home, the captions you see are not tied to the captions that the candidates will see here tonight.
Thank
Why
you,
are they
Lisa.
not?
With that, let's
Why are
get
they
started.
not?
Mr.
Different
Fetterman, we're
systems,
going to begin
dude.
with you.
But why
Your
not?
political experience includes serving as the mayor of Braddock, a small borough near Pittsburgh, and one term as lieutenant governor. You're running for a seat that could decide the balance of power in Washington. What qualifies you to be a U.S.
This
Senator?
decides the
You have
Senate, too.
60 seconds.
For the most
Okay.
part.
Hi, good night, everybody.
What?
I'm running to serve
No!
Pennsylvania. He's running to use Pennsylvania.
Are you gonna ring the
He's
bell?
a man that spent more than $20
Not
million
yet.
of his own money
right.
to try to buy
Hi,
that seat.
good night, everyone.
You can ring the bell at any
Also
point,
having
Kim.
to Talk about something called the Oz rule, that if he's on TV, he's lying. He did that during his career on his TV show. He's done that during his campaign about lying about our record here, and he's also lying.
You feel
probably
bad,
during
but I'm
this
saying
debate.
you can
And
ring
let's
the
also
bell at
talk
any
about
point and
the
put him out
elephant
of
in
his
the room.
misery.
I had a stroke. He's never let me
We
forget
know who
that.
should win this already.
And I might miss some words during this debate, mush two words together.
You can't win a
but it knocked
sympathy
me
vote,
down,
man.
but I'm gonna
You're a
keep
leader.
coming back
You're
up.
supposed to be a leader.
And this
You
campaign
can't
is all about, to
communicate.
me,
I'm
is
sorry.
about fighting for everyone in Pennsylvania that ever got knocked down, that needs to get back up, and fighting for all forgotten communities all across Pennsylvania that also got knocked down.
All right, you didn't
that
ring the
needs
bell
to
yet,
keep
Kim,
back
and,
up.
you,
Thank you
and
very
he,
much,
and he
Mr.
picked
Fetterman.
himself
Mr.
back up
Oz,
there.
You are a doctor, a businessman, and television personality. But this is your first run for elected
Gotta
office.
communicate
What
and not
qualifies
be
you to
arrogant.
be a U.S.
Don't
Senator
be
from
arrogant.
Pennsylvania? You have 60 seconds.
I'm running for the U.S. Senate because Washington keeps getting it wrong with extreme positions. I want to bring civility, balance, all the things that you want to see because you've been telling it to me on the campaign trail. And by doing that, we can bring us together in a way that has not been done of late. Democrats, Republicans talking to each other. John Fetterman takes everything to an extreme, and those extreme positions hurt us all. Let's take crime as an example because it's been such a big problem. Maureen Faulkner accompanied me today to the studio. You know that her husband was a police officer in Philadelphia, was brutally murdered. John Fetterman, during this crime wave, has been trying to get as many murderers convicted and sentenced to life in prison out of jail as possible, including people who are similar to the man who murdered her husband. He does it without with the rest of the parole board agreeing. He's doing it without the families on board. These radical positions extend beyond crime to wanting to legalize all drugs, to open the border, to raising our taxes. I want Washington to be civil again.
He's sounding complaining, and he also just reminded us that everybody's being manipulated for this campaign.
All right,
and there's a lot of
gentlemen,
sorrow
on
involved
to
in
the
that.
economy.
He added a lot of
Pennsylvanians
bad
are struggling to put food
All right,
on
let's
the
see.
table
Economy.
and gas in their cars. Our Next Star Emerson College The Hill poll shows the economy and inflation are the biggest concerns for voters. 39% of them listed that as the top issue. Beginning with you, Mr. Oz. You have blamed President Biden and reckless Democratic spending for the inflation crisis, but voters would like to hear your specific plan to cut spending. Please explain in 60 seconds.
Well, if you ask the U.S. government, they'll tell you they have 4% waste and fraud. Now, I've traveled over the Commonwealth and spoken to countless people. There was a lady in Beaver County at a county fair who told me with fear in her heart that she wanted to provide food for her son's highly nutritious chicken she wanted. She couldn't afford it anymore. That's a big problem. If we've got 4% waste and fraud, we ought to be able to take care of that. John Fetterman's, however, response continually is to raise taxes. He raised taxes as mayor. He tried to raise taxes as lieutenant governor, 46%. That's a big tax rate. He supported Joe Biden's recent tax rate
Enjoy
increase.
the comedy.
And he's
I think
done
it's a
that
difference-
without paying his own taxes.
Okay, I'm going to pause. I'm going to get to pause.
You're allowed to pause as many times as you want. I can't pause it all
here's the
anymore.
thing, okay,
And you get to declare the winner.
Can you not let me lose my train of thought? I would
All right.
really appreciate that, Alex. So I think there's two types of people that are running. There are people that are genuinely running to represent their state and just like listen to the people. And then there are people that are running, they're running for their state. And you have other people that are running for the country. Oz is running for the country. He's like, here's my proposal, America. And like Fetterman's like, here's my proposal, Pennsylvania. And I think we've seen that across the board and other things as well. You also see that with Charlie Crist, right? Charlie Crist is like, here's my proposal, kind of America.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
And then you have DeSantis like, here's my proposal, Florida. And same thing where you even have like the Washington senators. You have the whatever her Harris or whatever the old lady.
The Patty.
Patty. She's like running for Washington, and you have this other lady come in and it's like, well, I'm gonna change everything because Washington. You have
Ooh,
people
I
that
think
are
that's
running,
why you kind of had a disdain for her, and I
think-
didn't see that at first, because for me, I was more worried about I look at each candidate regardless of whether they're campaigning for national issues or state issues.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to look at it now as contextually, we're all on social media, we're all one. We all know eventually we're going to be one. We all know that these are going to end up as just votes in a system.
Yeah.
Might as well accept it now while it is. You're like, these places are different. They're separate. They deserve separate treatment. And if you're going to treat those places separate, you deserve those votes. Which is why we've agreed on most votes, but we didn't agree on the Patty vote. Because on the Patty vote, I thought that Patty was inauthentic. And I was looking across the board at just authenticity of whatever issue. But for you, you were looking at it as anyone that's not going to talk about their state is immediately inauthentic. And I kind of agree when you bring that point up.
Because who is your audience? Who are you campaigning for? Are you campaigning for America or are you campaigning for your state? And when it comes to these specific, if you're running for president, yeah, that makes sense, okay?
Right.
Yeah, but if you're running for, but I think that's also the philosophy as well, that it's like, well, these people have to run because they're gonna make a difference in Washington for the country, and that's how you get these big motivations of like voters, like.
But I think I'm on the same side as you, which is kind of like this disdain for that most.
Well, because it's
regardless of inauthenticity, like you can be inauthentic. That's what I feel like Patty kind of is. She's been there 30 years, but at the same time, Patty's inauthentic and she feels like a Hillary. But if you're looking at it the way that Kim is, and I'm kind of starting to feel that same vibe.
Kim?
The way you are. It's like authenticity first reaches what you're doing, which is you're running for your state. So if you're not reaching out to your state and saying, hey, state, this is what I think we should be doing, then you're not being authentic from the get-go.
Yeah.
So even if I look at that debate between Tiffany and Patty, and I say, hey, Tiffany's being more authentic, she's bringing up points about Patty. Patty's been here for 30 years as a Washington politician. Patty is being condescending and kind of snarky like Hillary and dismissing those things.
I don't completely agree with those views.
But at the same time, Patty's responses, Patty's articulation of what's wrong with Tiffany is that Patty's here for Washington and Tiffany's not. And to that argument, you can't really go with Tiffany because Tiffany is only there for I fought Washington, I fought these people, I did this thing.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. You know what? At the end of the day, that shit's the shit that divided us to begin with.
Yeah.
Let's remove that. And when you remove that, then yeah, you go with Patty. You move.
You go with, and that's honestly why I think like
Same thing with this.
Dr. Oz is he's campaigning for America. He's like, hey America, don't you want me to be a senator? And I think, and that's why he will probably lose. And I think that's why he's losing. Even though Federman has this issue with his stroke and a lot of people are
And people are concerned about it, and I've made jokes about it tonight, and here's the thing, is that I don't make jokes at his expense. I want to make sure to note that. It's not just for YouTube regulation, but it's for my own sanity. I'm making that joke because that's something that people are speaking of. And instead, people like Dr. Oz, for instance, is having to make this articulation. Hey, I'm concerned about this guy's speech and how he's talking. So instead, I got to run all these ads as though he's pro letting out criminals and all this other weird shit. And I just want him to speak on these issues publicly and da-da-da-da-da. We're here. We're speaking on them. We're now finding out it was all kind of a buffoonery, the concept that he can't talk. And even though that that NBC anchor got fucked over that we watched on one of our podcast episodes, and I feel really fucking upset for her because it's like she was just trying to be bipartisan just like us and just make her way through the media.
Alex is gonna cry right now.
No, for real. Like this girl is 10 years younger than us, Kim. Think about us 10 years younger, being able to make a public national decision about our career. And you decide that you're going to write a statement at the beginning of your piece that says, hey, I wasn't able to really talk to John Fetterman. He's fucking weird. And everyone fucking slams you and ghosts you and pushes you out and you can't even barely fucking make another goddamn day job on the same network again.
I mean, I think she's okay. I don't think she got fired.
But it's like, it's
Yeah.
just got all that pushback.
Okay.
And at the reality
Yeah.
of it,
All right, get your
it was
point.
real. It was real.
Okay.
And end of my point, you're circling back.
All right.
Again, you got the bell, you got the
Yeah,
control.
let's
You
watch
want to
for a
really
little
go
while.
back?
Yes, I want to go back.
You're not saying the Federman won yet.
No, let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
Fetterman's winning.
I'll say that again. He hasn't paid his
Fetterman's
own
winning.
taxes 67 times, but he's raising mine and yours. Those are radical positions. They're extreme. They're out of touch with the values of Pennsylvanians. And I can make the difficult decisions, as you do in the operating room as a surgeon. I'll make them cutting our budget as well
Those are like
to make
kind
sure
of
we
false
don't have to raise
promises.
taxes
It's
on
like,
a
how are you
population
going to do
already
this? You're not in
desperately
charge.
in pain
You're
from
running
the
for
high
president,
inflation rate.
dude. You're,
Mr.
like,
Fetterman, I will
running
allow
for
a
Senate.
15-second rebuttal. He has specifically said you have not paid your taxes
yeah. Okay,
and
let's
that you
see.
want to raise taxes on Americans. How do you respond?
Absolutely. The Oz rule, of course, he's lying. It was helping 2 students 17 years ago to help them, buy their own homes. They didn't pay the bills, and it got her paid. And it has never been an issue in any of the campaign before.
He was just helping someone out.
It was all about nonprofit.
All right, thank you, Mr. Fetterman.
Honest-
Continuing
honest,
with you, Mr.
not
Fetterman,
communicated
your
well,
opponent
but
has
honest.
criticized Democratic spending, as you
because
heard.
he's-
I like the
Has
bell.
Biden
I like the bell that
administration
News Nation's
overspent?
using.
And if so, where do you think spending should be cut? You have 60 seconds.
Okay.
No, here's what I think we have to fight about inflation here right now. That's what we need to fight about inflation. Right now, because it's a tax on working families. And Dr. Oz can't possibly understand what that is like. He has 10 gigantic mansions.
Ooh, true.
We must push back against corporate greed. We must make sure that we're also pushing back against price gouging as well too. We also be able to make more in Pennsylvania and make more in America. When he had a choice to make his merchandise, the Oz label is on, he made it all in China. Who can you believe that can fight against inflation and pushing back against corporate greed, or somebody that is choosing working in China versus over American workers?
I
All
see
right,
it.
I will allow a 15-second rebuttal to his comments that you have been making things in China. Mr. Oz.
I've been trying to talk about policy issues with the people of Pennsylvania. As a doctor, I listen to their ideas and I want to talk about them. When John Fetterman brings up houses, the irony is he didn't pay for his own house. He got it for $1 from his sister. And he hasn't been able to earn a living on his own. He's lived off his parents. So it's not a topic that we should be debating on the stage.
You don't
We should be talking
understand the
about
people that are voting.
inflation, the issues that are hurting
Yeah, but you don't
Pennsylvania.
understand the people that are voting are like, okay, so what? Like, so did Phil or like Joe down the street. He also got his house from his sister because we're small and like we do that. Like you can't look down at someone. You can't look down at someone because of her that. That's really shitty.
Exactly.
That's shitty. Okay, I'm gonna.
You also you have a lot of control here, but what I realized in that statement from John Fetterman tonight is that John Fetterman is trending for one of 2 reasons. Either because the mob leaned against him and said that he did something really stupid tonight in this hour-long debate, or because they said that he did something so woke and powerful that he needs to be praised. And that means that the Republican side and the cancel culture side is going to push against him for that praise. I think that not knowing what that outcome is tonight, it's really interesting that what kind of control we have before we leave this.
Yeah.
And regardless of what the clickbait becomes over the hour, because obviously you're tired and you're also not drunk. I'm going to take a potty break because I've drinking 5 different drinks. So I'm on a different level than you. But I'm here looking to your guidance.
No, I was just saying I'm calling it.
On this
I'm calling
awesome,
it. No, I'm
awesome
calling,
debate.
I'm
Oh, you're
calling
calling
it.
it. Oh, whoa, we're done?
We're done.
What is the call?
Done because Fetterman, because Dr. Oz is an insincere, mean man. Like, come on, why are you slamming someone for getting $1 house from their sister? Like, who? Come on, like, come on.
Paul, one more 30 questions.
Okay,
so they
all right,
both get
one more full question.
One more
I'm just saying,
response
like, that
each
crossed the
on
line.
the actual close-up, and then I will pause after both of those close-ups. We will re-debate whether this is a full verdict.
Great.
But I see your side.
I'm sorry,
I just don't want to jump to the conclusion.
You don't refute saying, "Oh, I have 17 houses."
I just want to see what he does on a double question.
You don't refute. Yeah. So what? Excuse me.
He does deserve the failure, is what I was saying. He does deserve.
I'm trying to type my point, Alex. You don't refute. You don't say. See, this is what happens, Alex.
I was just saying he doesn't deserve the failure, or he does deserve the failure.
I'm saying you don't go as a person to say, yes, yeah, so what? I have 17 houses. Right. He only got his house because he bought it from his sister for $1.
Oh, you're right.
I'm sorry, excuse me? Like, especially when you're talking to average people and average Americans, many of them can't buy houses, who would be happy to be able to buy a house for $1 from their sister. Like, come on, like, how shitty is that? You are so out of touch with reality. Do you think people care that he bought a house from his, only the rich people, elite people that you talk to care about whether he bought a house for $1 from his sister. Everyone else in America is more than fucking happy to buy a house for $1 from their sibling.
My only refute to build upon your anger, because you have a little bit of resentment towards him.
I'm just saying it, yeah.
Is this. If you look at both their backgrounds, okay? John Fetterman went for a Bachelor of Arts degree for a 4-year degree.
Okay.
He took it, he got it.
Okay.
Then after that, he was going to be an insurance salesman.
Okay.
For his dad's company.
Okay.
But his best friend in college died.
Oh,
and
shit.
He couldn't do insurance car work anymore.
Okay.
So he decided to be part of this Democratic funded, weird master's degree campaign for Harvard, where he gets to decide what families in lower income organizations in his area get to
I'm
benefit.
sorry, Alex, you were talking exactly like him. You were talking.
Right.
Anyway,
that's why I give him the benefit of the doubt. But he like but you're not ringing the bell till the 30-second. All right.
Okay.
I do agree Dr. Oz deserves to be ended this debate with his behavior at this point. He is being soulless.
All right, continue.
John Fetterman is winning.
And they're talking about at their kitchen table.
No, that's like he got his Pennsylvania house from his own inlays from $1.
Mr. Fetterman, we have to continue on. We'll continue on with a question, a follow-up question to you, Mr. Oz. This one is just for you. You tweeted in August that you will never stop fighting to lower gas prices for Pennsylvanians. Does that include supporting a suspension of the federal gas tax? You have 30 seconds.
I'm supportive of reducing taxes, but we want to be thoughtful about the long-term game plan to get gas taxes down and frankly all energy prices down. I've gone around the Commonwealth. I've witnessed people say I'm not going on vacation this year because I can't afford to pay to take my trailer to the campground. They can't even get there. What we have to do is ensure that we don't have increased inflation, and the best way to do that is reduce gas prices. John Fetterman has gone after the energy industry, called it a stain on Pennsylvania, and argued we have to ban fracking.
Oh, wait, let's continue. Okay, wait, no, we didn't get another back and forth. Let's get another back and forth.
You want the John Fetterman,
another
right?
back and forth. Yeah, let's continue.
If John Fetterman has a 30 seconds, are you good to declare?
Thank you, Mr. Oz. We will get to the issue of fracking later on in this discussion. But meantime, turning back to you, Mr. Fetterman, for a follow-up. In an op-ed for the Wilkes-Barre Times Leader, you wrote, quote, "It is time we crack down on the big price gouging corporations that are making record profits while jacking up prices for all of us." How do you plan to do this, sir? You mentioned going after price gouging corporations. How do you plan to do this? You have 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. We have to keep pushing back on that. And he would never make that choice to fight for families here in Pennsylvania. You know, he has never met an oil company that he doesn't swipe right about. You know, he has never been able to stand up for working families all across Pennsylvania. You know, we must push back. Inflation has hurt Americans and Pennsylvania's families, and it has given the oil companies record profits.
All right, thank you.
Okay, now look. I said I would give 30 seconds each. I gave 30 seconds to Oz, and I asked you. You said that you wanted the follow-up from Federman. After the follow-up from Federman, can we declare a winner still? Is the bell still rung? Does Federman still win?
Yeah.
I completely agree. I think tonight you will see a lot of fucking bullshit from the right and from people even in the middle that are going to make fun of the way in which Fetterman speaks tonight.
And yes, it's not
and
perfect.
that you need, like, here's the thing. As someone that made fun of it so much beforehand, like you saw me when I was like, Dr. Oz versus no. Like, we all knew what the cliche was coming in.
Hold on. Let's play that clip back. Yeah, see, he did.
Dr. Oz versus but we all knew what those stereotypes were, and that's why I actually do them. It's not necessarily because I feel that way. It's because that's how I feel pop culture feels. And that is how I feel pop culture feels at the end of the day. Yeah. And that's how I feel his name is trending, is because there's a lot of catch bait you can grab on this motherfucker to make him look stupid tonight. But at the end of the day, if you actually watch the fucking debate, we watched about 11 minutes. Kim rung the bell. Kim deserved to ring the bell after the first debate with Ron DeSantis, where I wanted to ring the bell from the start.
Yeah, but Alex is still gonna like talk your ear off, even though I rang the bell, because he wants to have
both bells were rung, and I would say both bells were agreed upon.
Yeah, definitely.
Which are that Ron DeSantis and John Fetterman won both of these debates.
Yeah, and the thing is, it all comes down to authenticity, and it all comes down to, do you sincerely care? And like Dr. Oz is just going to the thing where
nationalist perspective again.
So yes, Fetterman can't. Can you stop playing it? It keeps doing this weird thing, and I can't focus.
I'm shutting it off.
Thank you. So Fetterman, yes, he has problems speaking. Yes, he has a disability. We can call that, or whatever it is, a challenge, and he can't always form the proper sentences.
Right.
But you have Dr. Oz, who perhaps forms two perfect sentences. Like, the fact is, he's too slick. And so, yes, he might be able to put the sentences better, but he means the sentences are a lot of crap.
They're a lot more focused. They're a lot more orchestrated based on the movement.
They're slick. They're slick.
Part of the Republican propaganda.
No. Yeah, but he's a salesman selling you a thing. And
he's selling you Trump's world.
And yes, he can sell this stuff and speak well, but it doesn't mean that you want to buy the shit he's peddling. Fetterman isn't able to do the best communication of how he feels, but at the end of the day, he is still the one that actually means what he says. And I think people...
You can feel that from the start.
And I think deep down in all these races, that's what anyone really wants to vote for. They want to vote for a person who's sincere, who means what they say, and is looking out for the average person. And and that's who's going to win in this game. And I think that's a great way to end this election special. Let's just hope that the best person wins in every single thing, regardless of what they stand for and everything. Because as true independents, we know that we side in different things. And yes, you can vote for someone even though you don't fully agree with everything they're saying.
Woo!
But if you say, hey, they're a good person, and you know what, they have a good moral barometer, and they're going to vote for what's ever best for you, even though I don't agree with it every time.
Look at it that way every single time. Fucking diligently, with exhaustion, even if you're in a fucking abusive kind of relationship with politics at this point. If you care about it, if you're still watching it, if you're still paying attention even just a little bit, watch it with diligence over what side you want to choose every time based on the person.
Yeah. You don't have to watch with diligence, just watch with your heart and your gut.
Your gut.
Your gut instinct. And just...
We didn't watch with diligence, because if we watched with diligence, we would have watched it would have been a 5-hour special.
It would have been.
But we watch with our heart. You're right.
You watch with your heart and your gut and your instincts as a person. And hopefully, if you're a good person, you know, you have those things. But if you don't, then you don't. But anyway, thank you all for hanging out with us.
And we're not shunning anybody for their belief on it. You know what I mean? It's just make sure you have a belief.
Yeah,
make sure you have
as you can see, like,
standard.
as true independents, we sided with a bunch of people, Democrats and Republican, in different ways. So let that lead you into the polls. Let that lead you into the polls, or if you already voted, you know, whatever. But anyway, thank you all for hanging out with our election special. And
Question.
I'm wrapping this up, Alex.
Who are the people that already voted?
Oh, I've seen people that are already voted.
Who are they, though?
Well,
because I'm not one of them, and neither are you.
Okay.
And I just want to know, who are they before you shut the camera off?
Hey guys,
please, quickly explain. Who are the people that already voted?
Alex, the people that already voted, comment on this video and let us know why you voted early. All right, thank everyone for an awesome night. Thank everyone for an awesome night. Thank you for following us. Make sure to stick around on Envy for October 31st. We're dropping our special, our Halloween feature, Zombies in the Antique Shop. Thank you all.
Comedy.
Comedy horror. All right, thank you all, and I am tuning out. Bye.
Bye.